How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Liberty Bowl. We are, of course, live. It is Friday, as usual. I'm joined by my co-hosted, the Liberty Swine. How you doing today, my friend?
Damn fine, man. Enjoying the beautiful Arizona fucking winter, man. Doing good and watching the clown show unfold across this country, man. How about yourself?
Pretty much the same, man. Enjoying, like I said, enjoying the ride. As we said, this year is going to be chaotic for the country, but it's going to be great for content creators, man. And as we're seeing every single week, and week after week, we are never short on subjects to speak about, and that is, clearly the case this week as well, right? So we've
Yeah,
got
for sure.
right. So first off, starting off the week for us, we got Ron DeSantis goes ahead and drops out of the race, endorsing Donald Trump and effectively, I guess, proving Nikki Haley right. It is now a two-person race. I mean, really, it's not. It's not. It's a one-person race with somebody else fucking siphoning and fucking siphoning donor money and fucking basically being the the key example of what establishment deep state shill looks like, right?
Yeah, right after he said, "If you don't kiss the ring," and then he
Right.
kissed the ring.
See, we also got Alexander Soros putting a cryptic message out on X. Some people are interpreting it. I'd probably say rightfully so, as a hit on old Donald J himself. We'll get into that in a little bit. We got the SCOTUS coming out with a huge ruling. Basically, apparently now borders are unconstitutional, as it has been ruled by the Supreme Court of the United States. That, of course, is sent off an avalanche of other topics that we'll be also be getting into. We also have oh fuck, who is it? Can't remember fucking. Oh, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney. Oh, Miss Piggy herself.
The endorsement of the century, dude.
Right. As if you didn't need any more proof that Nikki Haley is the fucking donor class establishment, old school fucking neocon. I mean, warmongering fucking class candidate. Liz Cheney goes ahead and went ahead and endorses Nikki Haley, Nikki Hillary Haley. I'll just go
Right.
ahead and see. We also got some big news coming out of course, Arizona with our very own Scary Lakes. Kari Lake, man, you gotta love her, dude. Like of course, we wanted her for governor. I mean, I personally wish that we had Kari Lake as a governor, especially in this time right now. But she is, of course, running for the Senate here in Arizona, and apparently the GOP is not too happy about that, right? So we're gonna go ahead and play the message and all this stuff. Is been going viral. Has been breaking the internet this whole week. Basically, the GOP has effectively, I mean, it sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but effectively tried to bribe Kari Lake in order to get her to not run in this election, to not run for 2 years, as the tape says. All right, definitely some crazy shit to get into on that one. All right, based off of the SCOTUS ruling and the Biden administration effectively sending down the Border Patrol to go ahead and remove the barbed wire, the razor wire that um, Greg Abbott has ordered his National Guard to go ahead and post on the border. Texas has basically, at this point, declared their supremacy over the federal government in terms of securing their borders, which of course, more power to them. We had what is it, 25, 28, something like that, states whose governors have basically come out and said that they stand with old Greg Abbott in Texas.
Yeah, basically all the red states. Coming out in
Yep.
support, man, and we got tons of truckers headed that direction. There's a
Right.
whole plethora of topics that just spun off from that single
Oh
one,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, that ruling opened up a major can of worms this week. Um, we got Peter Navarro. You guys may remember him as the guy that, for whatever reason, they felt was necessary to perp walk this old man through the airport in order to hold him. What is it? Fucking contempt for basically refusing to go be
Snub him a
questioned.
subpoena, the
Right.
exact thing that fucking old hunters just did.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, they made a big show of it. Like I said, they fucking cuffed him and perp walked him through the airport as if he's not a fucking politician that they could just go and make arrangements with his lawyers to basically turn himself in at this time is the majority of people of affluence tend to do when it comes to being arrested. But yeah, so he has been sentenced to 4 months in prison. Right, and actually, from what I read in the article, they were actually trying to get him 6 months, but they ended up getting 4 months instead. Definitely some fucked up shit, right? We
Yeah, it seems to only be associates of Republicans, man.
Oh yeah, I mean it's clearly one sided. If
Yeah.
anybody with eyeballs and two brain cells to rub together is you can clearly see that this is a corruption of the justice system. All right. And speaking of corruption of the justice system, we got E. Jean Carroll awarded $83.3 million on top of what is it like another like 5 million that she was
Yeah.
already awarded. Right. So
Yeah.
$83.3 million in a defamation suit because of the fact that Trump refuses to to say that, oh yes, I raped that woman, because he was found guilty, or he wasn't found guilty, he was found liable, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, and through civil court. I mean, it's not even criminal.
Right. We got and just be closing out tonight with a cannabis related story, right? Coming out of California. Where else would it come out of, right? So apparently, a woman stabs her boyfriend 108 times, and basically gets probation and a slap on the wrist, like community service or something like that,
Yeah.
because of the fact that she was not within her right mind and not able to cognitively make decisions for herself because she was high on marijuana. Absolutely crazy shit, man. But we're going to go ahead and start this off with E. Jean Carroll and that ridiculous perversion of our justice system that, again, the age of legal precedent is behind us. Like I said, I don't think they care about the repercussions of their actions at this point. It's all just get Trump at any cost. Like I said, in their minds, they're saving the world from the next fucking Hitler. Right. So they, the era of worrying about, what kind of legal precedent is this going to set for the country, they don't care anymore. So, I mean, as we're seeing some wacky rulings like this are coming down, man, go ahead and get your thoughts on this whole situation while I heat myself up a dab here.
You're like, well, right. I mean, obviously he was gagged in this, wasn't allowed to defend himself. The judge kept having anything that he said in the courtroom other than yes or no struck from the record, so it's not in the public or whatnot. And this chick, obviously, not only being obviously insane. You see her interviews and excerpts from previous times before all this, and she's a straight lunatic, man. Jack Skellington, right? And while Trump's flying around and fucking porn stars and foreign models, they want you to believe that he's banging out Jack in a store in
Right.
Manhattan, broad daylight, right? And she's changed the year, the day, the season. Wants you to believe that she wasn't wearing a coat in cold ass New York, that she still has the dress that was never laundered, but refuses to produce it for DNA testing. I mean, you can just keep going. The so-called expert, her Democrat fucking funded attorney, fucking brought in, admitted on the stand that she's not an expert. This is her first case actually ever doing this as far as gauging reputational damage for civil suits. So the furthest thing from an expert. I mean, the list just keeps going, and of course, refusing to let Trump's attorney bring in experts of their own. And basically, Trump's not allowed to say, "I've never seen this woman before."
Right.
Like he's literally not allowed to speak.
Right. And that's basically what their whole thing is that he's denying the ruling that we ruled on the case that he was denying, basically, and that's why he's fucking double fucking liable for damages now. Matter of fact, he should be found guilty of murder because she probably received death threats afterward and all this and that bullshit. It's, like I say, it's clearly a political witch hunt. They don't care anymore at this point. Anything that they can to paint Donald Trump in a bad light, they will do. Unfortunately, like I said, I think it's all backfiring at this point. Like I said, anybody with two brain cells to fucking rub together can see that this is a political witch hunt.
It sucks. I can't remember his damn name. What's the Democrat donor? He's the founder of LinkedIn, and he was just funding Nikki Haley, and he's the one that's actually funding this whole thing. He's the one that set it off. Has talked this chick into going forward with a lawsuit. She's also what was it, Law and Order? This just so happens to coincide with a story that she self-admittedly is a fan of. The show Law and Order, and they, even the store, the name, everything. You know what I mean? This is, right out of some fucking Clown World comic books.
Right. Not to mention the fact that she can't remember exactly what year it happened, or when. She can't remember key details. All she could remember was what she was wearing that day. And at the same time, she says that she still has the dress, but you guys can't do DNA testing on it. Oh, and actually didn't even have the dress until after the date that I said that this all went down, and a whole bunch of just fishy shit. But I got this video.
It turns out the dress she claimed she was wearing, the designer actually didn't put that dress out until a couple of years after this supposedly had taken place. So.
Right. But just to get a bit of a picture of who E. Jean Carroll is, here's this little 1-minute video while I go ahead and rip this dab. Cheers, guys.
Because some very distinguished mice live here. Kahneman lives in the kitchen. Taberski lives in the bedroom. This is my shed. And on that side are the books that most influenced me growing up. On the door are the list of my dogs. Marky, Fortuna de la Spunky, Heidi, Tits, Bloody, and Hepburn. The streams and the rivers were dry, and it so horrified me that I came out and started painting the rocks blue to indicate that there was once a river here. And then after I got done painting the rocks, I just sort of walked over here and then did that tree, and then did that tree, and then I did this tree, and then pretty soon I'd done this whole forest.
Right. So that is who they believed and found Donald Trump liable for that. That's who they believe Donald Trump felt the urge to rape in a dressing room in a New York department store for whatever reason. And her story is so compelling, her logic and her reasoning is so compelling that they awarded her $85 million.
Right. Absolutely ridiculous, man.
All right, let that.
And what's even more fucked up is her attorney was seeking 7 to 12. A liberal New York fucking jury said, no, we're not going to give her 7 to 12. We're just going to give her 83.5. You know what I mean? It's what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And this is straight railroading, man. If you think that Trump, you see his wife, you know what I'm saying? If you think he felt he had to force himself on that fucking mutant, man, I got some fucking land to sell you in the backyards.
All right, let me see. I got the that article pulled up. Let me go ahead and find the name of the dude. Let's see, Judge Kaplan and also prosecutor Kaplan. Same time, no relation allegedly. Let's see, what's the person's name? Oh, Reed Hoffman.
Yeah,
Reed Hoffman is the guy. So we'll read some of this article right here. It's a pretty long one, but the beginning part of it basically shows the whole fishiness of the story, to say the least. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick. Switch this on over. All right, so let's see. The alleged rape. So during the latest episode of this trial, Carroll admitted she wasn't doing very well financially and needed to find a way to sell more books. The testimony appears to be the basis for the first claim she ever made in New York Magazine's The Cut in the summer of 2019. Far from a compelling claim, the 80-year-old writer initially laid out the story that her supposed rape occurred either in 1994 before altering the date to be in the fall of 1995 or the spring of 1996. I mean, just that right there. I mean, that's enough to get the case thrown out. I mean, in my opinion, she can't even recall the year. I mean,
but she does know that she was wearing a fucking Donna Karen dress coat. not
Right.
not a coat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Donna Karen dress code.
Right, and then you
right?
see it says later come to light that the coat dress was not made till 94 or 95. So, I mean, it's like,
Right.
depending on which story she's running with, that shit hadn't even been made yet. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's good times. And then, of course, the accusal on multiple occasions. And, you see in this, it just goes on and lists instances where it's like basically every dude she's had any kind of intimate interaction with. It's rap. It's rap.
Right. All right, let's go ahead and finish this real quick, just this first part. Okay, it didn't matter to Carroll, who has accused multiple men of sexually assaulting or raping her throughout her life, including a babysitter's boyfriend, a dentist, a camp counselor, an unnamed college date, an unnamed boss, and CBS chief executive Les Moonves, or whatever, how the fuck you pronounce it. Carroll also appeared to remember specifics such as the emptiness of the Bergdorf Goodman department store in the early evening, a detail she called inconceivable, as well as admitting that it was her who wanted to sexually harass Trump originally because she wanted, quote, a funny story to tell about getting the then infamous New York City developer to put on women's lingerie. So again, this lady is completely fucking wackadoo, right, to say the least, right? Upon voluntarily entering a dressing room, which she claims would usually be locked until clients wanted to try something on, she claims Trump unzips his pants and, forcing his fingers around my private area, thrusts his penis halfway or completely, I'm not certain, inside me.
And that's just trying to insult the dude right there. You know what I'm saying? Obvious.
Right. After apparently struggling free, she says, I don't remember if any person or attendant is now in the lingerie department. I don't remember if I run to the elevator or if I take the slow ride down on the escalator. As soon as I land on the main floor, I run through the store and out the door. I don't recall which door, and find myself outside on Fifth Avenue. The story itself beggars belief. If a celebrity had tried to rape me in a public place, I think the first thing I might have done was tell somebody. In the words of her own friends, E. Jean Carroll is a, quote, attention seeker. It is already difficult to imagine such a scenario unfolding without immediate consequence for the assailant, let alone when the victim is a nationally known public attention seeker. Right. And then they also got this clip from Law and Order. It's a short one. We'll go ahead and display it real quick. And it basically, it's pretty much lays out exactly, her case, kind of. I mean, just the premise, I guess. To check it out.
Role play took place in the dressing room of Bergdorf's. While she was trying on lingerie, I would burst in.
Hold on. Man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. It says from at Raheem Kassim. Seems like the right time to recall that E. Jean Carroll, a self-described Law and Order fan who described rape as, quote, sexy and talked about, quote, fantasies of that nature, happens to share the exact same story as a rape fantasy featured in an episode of Law and Order. Huh.
What a coincidence. And then, of course,
right.
if you go back to her fucking earlier interviews, like, on CNN and whatnot, and she's on there putting on a show, like, rape has so many connotations. I think people, right, here you go.
There we go, man.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Fucking lunatic, man.
Right. Hashtag believe all women, guys.
You could sue me for defamation and come get $12.
Right. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I mean, like I said, I don't know what to say. If that's not a clear corruption of our rule of law, then I don't know what is, man. And again, not trying to say that like, oh, there's no way that could have ever happened and shit like that. I mean, who the fuck knows? It was literally decades ago. Honestly, who the fuck knows it? Apparently she doesn't even fucking know if it actually happened or not. I mean, really, who the fuck knows?
But she's a self-professed fan of that show. And she was coerced into doing it. It's pretty obvious. Like, the tale is there. Even Kathy Griffin was involved. You know what I'm saying? And she claims that her life was ruined and she has extreme PTSD because MAGA did. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Because they had some questions about her holding a severed Trump head.
Right.
Yeah. If they can total victim there, right? Just our bad.
Always with the lunacy, man.
What this just goes to show, though, is how corrupted our system has become, how weaponized our system can become, right? And basically how deep the deep state truly is. It's literally down to they paid off judges, as we're going to see here in a second. I mean, they could even have you killed if they want to. The deep state, like I said, is starting to show its true face. It's starting to show who it actually is, and basically to put it in a more colloquial term, Alex Jones was right.
Even better, fucking Ron Paul was right. The man stood on the floor of Congress and told you this was going to happen in his farewell speech. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shit. Speaking of farewell speeches, let's go ahead and get this clip in real quick. Switch it on over. Really getting a lot quick at just pulling up tabs and shit. This was from a Joe Biden speech in Manassas, Virginia.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
You got that right. You fucking tell him, old Joe.
Right, exactly. What would be the benefit?
Right. Hey, from what I hear, man, at least, over 50% of the women in his cabinet are women. Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, dude.
Right. So, and that was all. That was just for fun and games. Now let's put our serious caps on back here, you guys. We got this video here. I guess Kari Lake or her team or somebody within the Kari Lake camp released this video. From what I've gathered, from listening to her interviews and stuff that she's been saying over this last few days since this audio came out, basically she did record it herself. Jeff DeWitt, the I guess former GOP chair at the time, of the releasing of this, he was the current GOP chair here in the state of Arizona. Basically said that he wanted to speak to Kari Lake, but it's something that he couldn't do over the phone. It has to be in person. So Kari Lake says, of course, anybody would be suspicious of such a request. So she said, yeah, sure, come on over. And she set up a recording device in her home. And this was the audio that was captured. Right. So immediately the very next day after this audio was released, Jeff DeWitt officially resigns. I mean, he's out. Right.
I guess it's good she's got this tape, right? But at the same time, it's like a Steven Crowder situation. Like, apparently she has a habit of recording herself. So,
right.
that's a little creepy, but.
Right. Hey, coming from the guys sitting here recording our conversation on the internet.
It's on the inner zones. I'm not secretly recording you, bro. You know what I mean?
As far as I know. Right. Anyway, let's go ahead and check this out. But I mean, at the same time, I guess to that effect, I mean, is Jeff DeWitt really, if I can, an American patriot? Is Jeff DeWitt really a good person at that point?
Not
like if you know,
but she obviously knows him well enough to be like, yeah, come on over. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean,
well, I mean, they've rubbed elbows, being part of the both in the Arizona GOP, and well, we'll get into the tape, but he does kind of explain his position on why they're trying to get Kari to basically back out of the race. But so I guess it wouldn't be too out of the ordinary, I guess, for him to request to come over and speak with her. But for whatever they said, I don't know. This is all just pure speculation. But like I said, there's two different types of Republicans as we're gonna see right here. There's the people that are actually for the American people, and there's the people that are basically for the donor class, right? The rhinos, the people that are there, basically, the puppets of the dark overlords that rule over this land, right? But so like I said, I think we need to start weeding those types of people out, as we
even the ones that have been touted as something great, like a Mark Levin, dude, like he would literally tell you that you're anti-Semite if you call him a rhino. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's the same people, and they call him the great one, man. Dude, even like Bongino bows to the guy. I mean, dude, if you use any kind of, identity politics as an argument, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right. But I don't know if I can. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick. If at any time you want to go ahead and interject, just go ahead and start talking. I'll go ahead and pause it. All right. I mean, it's a pretty long. It's about 6 minutes long. So,
is there a number at which
I can be bought?
not be bought?
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
No. 10 million, 20 million, 30, no. $1 billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would that anybody would think this is.
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who's lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
All right. So, again, the kind of what we've been speaking to at the beginning, like she says, that this is a dirty request, basically, that you're asking me. And basically he says, I know, and then he basically gives the reasoning here that, people don't generally run, then lose, and then run again and win. That's not, that doesn't necessarily happen in politics. And so basically he's saying that is their reasoning. But then as we're going to see here in a little bit, it gets a bit more sinister, coming up real soon. Anything you want to throw on that real quick?
He seemed almost flabbergasted for a second when she was like, "It's not about money, 20 million." Like, nope, it's about America, it's about our country. And he's, you could almost hear the
right.
You know what I mean?
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
The price is wrong, Bobby.
Right.
I'm not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me. So what's going on? I'm assuming this is our friend.
Oh, this is back east. There are very powerful people.
Who's they though, man?
Right.
Who's back east?
Right. Kanye was trying to tell you, man.
Right. But I mean, fucking all joking aside and stuff, there really is a they, and I'm not trying to say, it's the Jews or anything like that. It's like we've been talking to this whole time. It's the deep state. It's the donor class. It's the fucking the Soros fucking type. It's the Davos types. It's basically the world's most powerful elite people that basically have a lot of pull, and people that have a lot of money, invested in these different politicians and in our different institutions, and they're basically expecting their return on investment. And so they're willing to do some dark and shady things, such as we're seeing here, in order to ensure that, that gravy train that they have doesn't get derailed. Right.
It just so happens that like 70% of them are Jews, though.
right. Right. But either way, down to the who is they though, back east folks, eh?
Right.
People don't want to keep you out.
No, they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well,
You said, well.
Right. Well, maybe you're right. All right. So let's go ahead and put that out there, man. In Arizona, while Kari Lake was running, from what I was able to tell, she is a beloved Arizona character out here, right? She is, she campaigned all over the place. She had support from every fucking demographic here in the state. And of course, our elections in Arizona, basically Arizona, both left and right, as we see, is bought and sold. Arizona is probably one of the most fucking hush hush corrupt fucking political places in America at this point, as we've seen with the elections down to this type shit.
Obviously, her popularity's increased with the gubernatorial run and whatnot. But I mean, she's beloved in Arizona for like decades, man. My
Right.
fucking grandpa was like, Googling over her on the news in Phoenix in the 90s, man. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So basically, the fact that she's not able to win elections, as we are well aware, fucking Ronald McDonald's, right? And basically, all the people within the higher up GOP, basically the people who decide where the funding goes to, they are not supporting MAGA candidates. They are not basically supporting, as we saw with Blake Masters here, right? He basically, if you're trying,
Madison fucking Cawthorn. I mean, you could keep going across
Right.
the country. Obviously, we're focusing on AZ, but it's
Right.
on a national scale for sure.
Now, if you're trying to run on a MAGA platform, it has to be purely grassroots and organic, because the establishment, the Republican, backing is not going to back you, right? And we're seeing that's what's going on with Kari Lake. I want her to run again, and again, I'm going to vote for Kari Lake. Yeah. So I mean,
Definitely, man. As far as the Senate goes, yeah,
Yep.
we need that. I mean, you hear these voices out here like she'd be a good VP pick for Trump, and while I believe she very well could be, we could use her more in the Senate for sure.
Right. Again, I really wish more than anything that we had her as our governor right now. But you got to get what you can take.
Unfortunately, we have a scabies infestation in Phoenix.
Right. We have a corruption infestation in Maricopa in general, as we, dude, I don't know how Arizona is going to fare this election if things don't go smoothly. As you already know, they're not going to, because they haven't fixed a goddamn thing, with our elections here in Arizona. And it's not even like who counts the votes, anything like that. It's literally the machines don't fucking work in Republican fucking county, in Republican districts. It's literally fucking targeted election interference.
Yeah, or if they work, they change the size of the paper so it can't read it correctly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's mistake after mistake after mistake, and no semblance of accountability. In fact, the only people that are held accountable to anything are two electors, election officials out of what is it, Cochise County? I would think they're both out of Cochise County, right? Or
Yeah.
Cochise and Grand County, and basically two election officials that basically what they did was, when they saw all the irregularities going on in Maricopa County, they did not certify Katie Hobbs, as they basically did not certify their portion of the votes and stuff, right? Basically in protest of Katie Hobbs certifying her own fucking election and basically announcing herself as governor, they basically held up that proceeding because of the fact that they did not turn in their stuff until things were fixed with Maricopa County. So basically, they're now being charged with election interference. That's again another thing that's kind of being handled, unseen. It's not really making waves. Nobody's actually talking about it, But yeah, in fact, the people that called out the fact that there were irregularities within, our elections here in Arizona, those are the people that are basically facing legal consequences right now.
And there was so many things shown to be, reality, not only with the malfunctioning machines, but signature irregularities, loss of, possession, as far as, they what is it called? Possession chain or something.
Chain of custody.
Yeah, that's they monitor where it goes at all times and whose hands it's supposed to be in, and basically they lose that chain of custody for many hours at a time, and then on top of it, we just saw on a more large scale, we had an expert that just hacked into a Dominion voting machine in the courtroom. You know what I mean? In real time. And this is a computer, some kind of computer expert or whatever, but he showed it in real time with with ease. Like it literally took him minutes to change votes. And
it's fucking ridiculous, man. And like I said, we have not fixed a goddamn thing at all. In fact, you know who's in charge of basically making sure that the elections are going to run smoothly this year? Well, when Katie Hobbs elected herself as governor, she signed an executive order. I think it was actually her second or third executive order, basically placing or creating an office of election integrity, right? And who runs that office? Well, that office is going to be run by the current sitting governor. Oh, who is that? Oh, Katie Hobbs, right? So basically, Katie Hobbs put herself in a position to go ahead and investigate herself and basically investigate the irregularities that got her elected to her position in the first place. So, in other words, nothing has happened. Nothing has been fixed. Nothing has changed. Arizona's elections are going to go the exact same way that they've gone the last two elections in a row.
Right. And people think like, oh, wow, like, you really think that it's that deep, this conspiracy, like, they're that intelligent to build this system and all. In reality, it may seem like a deep webbed intelligent system on the surface, but, it's idiotic as shit because eventually it will be used against them as well. I mean, it puts, the future governors in a position to be mini dictators too. You know what I mean? And it's not always going to be Democrats in office. I mean, it might not be a Republican. It could be some other third party that rises, or God forbid a libertarian, right? But, and then, you could see some different wielding of power, man, a little more blatant.
Right. See the pendulum start to swing in a different direction for once.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the audio here. So basically what they were talking about is how, she's a beloved character, and, he basically says that, well, maybe you're right.
Maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This is rap. Don't go. Do me a favor though. I don't get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
He said, "Don't tell people."
He did. Today's world, man. If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man.
Right. Yeah. Don't tell nobody. Right. And then she basically points out the obvious. They're gonna try and have me murdered. And so basically, by going public with this, it's basically insurance. I mean, this dude should be happy. You basically she saved your life, motherfucker. I mean, if they try to murder you, that's going to be a major fucking red flag. Basically,
Yeah.
you're now insured to fucking stay alive, at least for the next fucking decade until people forget about you. But at least for now, you are basically being watched by the watchful eye of the media. From this point, at least until the end of the election. Shit, bare minimum. But either way, that it's a pretty sinister shit.
They say the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So
what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what.
Sounds like a movie.
Let's just say there are people calling out saying, "Gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. Because I got offered to buy out. Don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future."
All right. So he basically says, if you don't say like, oh, like they offered to buy me out and that shit, because then we lose our ability to get things done in this way in the future. Right. I did kind of insert the words in this way, but basically that's what he means. We then lose our ability to get things done in the future. Essentially by blackmailing people. Right. So basically, if you expose the truth, well, then we can't keep lying to people. That's just essentially what he's saying right here. Right. And then the whole thing with the cartels operating in 50 states already, and then don't worry about the who and the and all that. Just worry about the what. Like it's like I say, it sounds scripted. It sounds like a movie, but at the
And
same
I'm
time,
sure you heard yourself, dude, like Dan Bongino, 12-year Secret Service.
mm,
He heard this tape himself and then, got a hold of some connections. And basically he said that, the 50 state thing is like basically verified, man.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, shit, that's for damn sure. If the fentanyl crisis isn't fucking proof enough, I mean that's for damn sure. They're operating all over the place, but it just like I say, it's exposing what the deep state actually is, and that's really one of the most common things that conspiracy theorists get asked is, oh well, what's this deep state that you're talking about? Like this is what the fuck we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, an entrenched fucking bureaucracy, man. Because I mean, he's not talking about your representatives. He's not talking about your elected officials. He's talking about people that were appointed to fucking positions that they can't be removed from, that have garnered fucking grips of fucking power behind the scenes for decades.
Right. Yeah, crazy shit. Yeah, dude, we shit. I even forget. Like we've seen over the last couple of years, like some sitting Congress members get fucking smoked, like in their cars in DC and shit. Right? Yeah. Like what the fuck ever happened to that?
A judge was just killed recently in his driveway. There's and I mean the list just keeps going. But a female, even a black female congresswoman, you remember in New Jersey, same thing, got smoked out in front of her place. And she was like a conservative, black female, which is, that's a fucking huge no there, man, because that destroys all the left's arguments against, that person.
She wanted them Uncle Toms over there. Them fucking mandangos and shit.
Yeah, and they can't crack the old whip of guilt and fucking racisms and fucking bigotry.
Yep. Sure, they can't victimize.
Here's my problem. Rather than just say, let's work with her, she's a great candidate, because they don't own me, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know, it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know it's about control. It's about being on the team.
Control.
I guess that's, you know what I mean?
They want to be on the team.
They want you to be on their team.
But
just team.
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
They want you to stay out for 2 years.
Right. So they want you to be on the team. They want you to be on, they want you on the payroll. They want you to be one of us. Fucking you get some inside trader tips. You keep the fucking wheels a flowing, and we stay in power. The people are none the wiser. Everybody wins.
And you got to remember that this recording's, it's a little older. It's like a year or two, right? And so the shit he's talking about, hold it off for 2 more years. That's basically the end of Biden's first term. That's like, we got to keep these borders open and shit. We got to keep these drugs flowing, yada yada, for 2 more years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's guarantee a byway.
I think this one was actually just before she announced that she was running for Senate. I'm not sure. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think she said that this one was actually like last year or something like that. So like right before she announced that she was going to be running for Senate. So I mean,
so it's like I said, it would close out that 2-year window. They get fucking, their globalist fucking, racism sweat back in there, and they can keep the byway flowing, bro.
Right. Yep. I mean, fucking. I don't know. Like I said, I think they're starting to see their house of cards collapse, and that's why they're gonna get desperate. But at the same time, I think that they're going to they understand that basically they can't necessarily control the chaos, but they can destabilize everything enough that they have enough power to sustain themselves and their organizations. So that way, whenever things settle down, they could come in and basically assert power again. So I think that's their plan is basically to get all the people that, are, pro-revolution, killed. And they basically come back in as liberators,
Yeah, and I think that they're setting themselves up for if this 2024 doesn't go their way, they're not able to, honk the election again. That shit's gonna pop off, and they've brought in, basically people that are gonna to pull off some serious terrorist activities, and it's all gonna be blamed on Trump. See, Trump's setting off. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
That's how it's gonna go.
oh yeah, dude. Trump's gonna get blamed for everything.
Yeah.
I say if we don't end up winning, then fucking this entire movement's going to be fucking written down in the history books as the time that we fucking stopped an evil fucking insurrectionist uprising in America, and it's just going to be
And
another
not to
foot.
mention, it do all the thousands of Palestinians that are being let in, right? And it turns out through Homeland Security that they're not even counting them as Palestinians. They said they don't have an exact qualification for them, and so they're just letting them in by the thousands. And these people are obviously against our fucking allies. We're steadily fucking still arming Israel. And you see the protests popping off, but when we start bombing Iran and shit, that's going to be a different story. They're going to start burning shit down here.
Yeah, I mean that's
Calling that future prediction, son.
yeah, it seems definitely fucking highly likely.
Yeah.
Yep. I said I think they have a plan A and plan B with the whole immigrant situation. I think that's a win-win situation for them. I think it's basically either one, they win and they get to replace voters and all this and that type shit. Basically, if places like Texas and we'll get into this a little bit deeper too in a little bit, but places like Texas and the Patriots basically stand down, then they get a whole new batch of Democrat voters. They get the whole next generation of Democrat voters. And then on the other hand, if the Patriots don't stand down and basically if Trump ends up winning this next election, well, then they have everything set up to basically be bad optics for Trump all the way around. He's going to have to do one of the largest fucking deportations in human history. Everything's going to look all bad. And then plus with all the geopolitical situation we have, all the people of different backgrounds, as you were saying, here in America, shit's basically set up this immigration thing. That's why the Biden administration is not going to stop it, even when their own party and their own constituents, their own voters and shit are telling them, please fucking stop, because that's basically that's their insurance policy. I think, at least. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what I can do. But I said you can do whatever you want. It's a talking head, isn't it? So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, is between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America First. This is about the final death blow to Trump. And I don't think that's good for our country.
And I love Trump. I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
It's not. But at the same time,
It's not. But
I'm not even for Trump to win again.
Right. But at the same time, I mean, it's good for like us. We get more power. We don't lose our power. That's the most important thing right here is that, continuity of government. When it comes to major disasters, they don't have any plans to make sure that fucking people survive. They definitely have plans to make sure that government continues and they continue to fucking reign over this place. Right. So, that's their main focus.
And the war machine, they're all getting rich off their stocks right now. Like, people are still tripping about the Ukrainians, right? We sent hundreds of fucking millions of dollars into this and that. You know what I mean? We've already spent 1.6 billion on Israel already. I mean, it's been a couple of months, man.
Right. Yep. Yeah, dude, it's a money laundering scheme. It has been, for decades now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Israel's one of the richest city-states on the planet, dude. If you want to sell them weapons, man, by all means, dude. If you want to be fucking Lord of War and, sell the Palestinians and the Israelis, dude, here you go, son. You know what I mean? Purchase. But,
Right.
just to be spending our money and resources is getting absolutely ridiculous, man. And, this the same people that run around screaming about the environments and sustainability are fucking, dropping $1 million missiles by the minute and shit,
Yep. Yep. And it's all to spread democracy around the world, right?
Democracy.
Keep in mind our idea of fucking spreading democracy and our idea of basically a nation building is basically removing the current government of a nation and installing a government that is willing to play ball with America, right?
Or trading American dollars.
Right. And if anybody that steps out of line, like, oh no, fucking your nation's been taken over by extremists, we need to go in there and liberate. Like, then we go fucking kick over fucking doors, take over countries, and basically do what we got to do. Well, not what we got to do, what we got to do in order to keep the boot on the neck of the rest of the world. That's what America is. That's how we spread fucking freedom and democracy around the world. Gonna fucking freedom the fuck out of you guys.
One of our many, definitions in dictatorship is arresting one's political dissidents or opponents. And, here we are, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing happening in Ukraine where we have to pour billions into, and Biden is still pushing for more packages for.
You're right. Yep. Yeah. Fucking Ukraine's fucking ridiculous. I was talking to some other people, some normies not too long ago, and they're basically like, oh, like, yeah, Ukraine, like everyone kind of forgot about Ukraine now. Like, from what it looks like, it doesn't look like, they're going to be able to win. Like, that's what it looked like from day fucking one. Like, anybody that has any fucking, sense in their fucking mind saw that Ukraine doesn't have a chance against fucking Russia from day one and shit. The only chance they have is fucking if America goes in their boots on the ground and fuck shit up. We're not gonna fucking do that. Instead, we're just gonna fucking send them endless fucking dollar bills and shit, fucking blank checks. And if you try and ask where the money goes, oh well, that's because you just support Putin. That's all. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're a Putin bot. For real. That's stupid shit, man.
Right. And then it's just funny just watching them all now, all those people that had the fucking pee-pee poo, the fucking pee-pee and cry fucking flag in their bios for the last fucking 2 years are now starting to like, I don't think Ukraine's gonna win.
Right. They're like, I don't think this tiny ass, corrupt ass, broke ass country is gonna win against the most nuclear armed superpower on the planet.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. Meanwhile, then you get to point out to them like, oh well, have you taken a look at their fucking demographics lately? Like, oh, all the fucking fighting age men are dead. They're all dead now. They tried to go, and then you get to bring up Boris Johnson, and they tried to go to the fucking peace talk table, about a couple months into the thing, and Boris Johnson basically put the brakes on that, and there has not been one talk of peace ever since. Basically the West said we go full speed ahead, and then now basically the majority of the men in Ukraine are now dead. So that's something.
And trannies on TikTok, and that's about it.
Right. And again, we have no fucking semblance of a accounting for where any of the money is gone. So there's that.
Yeah, they're literally, we talked about it in a previous show, and it's missing chromosome kids now in the trenches, and Biden's still pushing for $1 billion aid packages. Like,
yeah.
And it's not even about rebuilding at this point because BlackRock's already assumed that role.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's just fucking go in, destroy, and then fucking buy everything up and then rebuild it. Yep. Now we own everything.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's good times, man.
I don't know if you can win. I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda, it's just about the ability to raise money to win. If you really want to know, all of politics boils down to money, I think. I always believe that. And even on their end, like what makes them the most money.
I know all these consultants don't want their payday to end, and I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not. If they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting them do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona to carry their torch and their voice.
He said, or.
You don't go away. But you pause.
Pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
You pause. And refill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now.
No, it's
battle
right. It's about right now. Like 2 years from now, the war is going to be over, and we're going to be under government tyranny at that point. So, no, it kind of needs to be right now. Like, right, fucking thug life in it.
With Texas kind of shut down at the moment, Arizona has obviously become the hotbed, right? The entryway. And, this would be the end of that if Kari Lake were fucking anywhere near the charge button, man.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Okay, right now, we'd be fucking locking arms with fucking Texas. Literally.
They're already starting to put out the call, man.
We don't have time to pause on this battlefield.
Yeah. Well, we're going to end that one in a second.
What you can't scratch their back. It's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to offer them. And they're sitting around people that have stuff to offer them. You know what I mean? It's just it's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. I don't scratch people's back. I've been on the outs with a lot of people for a long time because I don't scratch backs. Where are we in 2 years if they steal the election again?
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do something about it so that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that. And I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in the...
I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
No, I know. Look. And
you don't have to tell them.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. They'll kill you. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Everything's okay.
Right.
That's totally normal. That's fucking Arizona GOP business as usual right there. You got a little fucking closed door fucking look at how it really functions. Fucking blackmails and threats, veiled threats, and innuendos, man.
Right, like cartel hitman. Fucking
While he's saying himself, like, well, what are we gonna do if they steal the election again? Literally saying, like, dude, I believe everything you're saying is real, but let's not do anything about it.
Right. Like, if they have that much power, imagine what they could do to us, man. Like, I want money. Like, that's my concern. Like, I want money and power. That's all I actually care about. Like, you can't seem to fathom the fact that some people believe in something, beyond themselves. It's pretty weird, right? Pretty weird concept.
Yeah, and what's even weirder is, people are still, using the old election denier term and shit like that for this era here. And it's more than come out, Time Magazine, the New York Times, shit in courts, the Dominion hacking recently, so on and so forth. Like all this stuff is out there. We're allowed to talk about it on the YouTubes. It's like the only place you can't talk about it is Chinese owned fucking TikTok. And that's because obviously it's better for them if old Beijing's Biden's carcasses is still up in there, man.
Yep. Okay, so I don't know, man. You want to go ahead and move on? We've been on this one for a minute. You want to get on let's talk about DeSantis dropping out real quick. We'll just talk about do a quick touch on the 2024 election, and then we'll move on to old Texas, right? So Ron DeSantis, as we said earlier in this week, basically dropped out and endorsed Donald Trump. Right. Yeah, he did it with, some grace and some tact. You could clearly see that he's trying to save some, whatever he can of his
political
career.
He actually looked relieved.
Yeah.
For real.
Yep. Yeah. He literally walked into a whirlwind. He walked into a fucking tornado, like thinking like, don't worry, I got this. And then he's fucking spun around like a fucking washer, and he just came out on the other side like, I wasn't ready for that. Like, yeah. So of course, Trump being the person that he is, I like the way that Bongino puts it, right? Like, people try to say like, oh, like it's Trump is all calling him sanctimonious and all this and that shit. There's the whole fucking Twitter war between the MAGA base and the DeSantis fans and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, as soon as DeSantis basically drops out of the race and goes ahead and endorses Trump, Trump's right back in his good graces, like, oh, Ronnie here and shit, And the way that Bongino put it is basically Donald Trump is a businessman, and Donald Trump is transactional in his interactions with people, right? If it benefits him, basically, if you're running against him, and you're his political opponent, yeah, he's going to give you 150 fucking % of his, energy, right? He's gonna he ain't gonna hold back nothing. He ain't gonna hold back no shots on you, right? But then as soon as it's not uh, uh, non-beneficial to him to basically attack you, then well, he's gonna stop attacking you. Well, once he has no reason to attack you no more, he's not gonna fucking go after you. And so basically people could say like, oh, he turns right back around and endorses him. That's two-faced, but Bongino put it, it's transactional.
I think you could see that good and bad, man. The whole fucking shit about his reelection is supposed to be that he learned a lesson. He's not going to surround himself with the same kind of people. And if a worm can just come back and say, fucking, well, I'm sorry, Dad. You know what I'm saying? And then, everything's cool. And, he's wide open for the backstab once again. You know what I mean? And just like DeSantis, right. You saw him come out, like you're saying right now, with some grace and whatnot. But then, he immediately come out and, said he'd veto a bill if the Florida State GOP fucking decided to, help Trump out in any way, basically fucking with the legal aspects. You know what I'm saying? And takes jabs every chance he gets. I mean, he's still a fucking worm. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And the dude showed his true colors, fucking Mr. Roboto. You see the people he chose to run his campaign, fucking WEF, fucking associated, Democrat associated, fucking, set of fucking reptiles as usual. You know what I mean? And everyone likes to talk about how, again, like I just said, Trump surrounded himself with some, fucked up people at times. And, that's something they always point to DeSantis. He's made this great choices in the state. I think that was just by chance on most occasions, or a possible, someone in the state legislature that had absolutely nothing to do with this campaign, because the one thing that was solely on him to do, a fucking complete failure. You know what I mean? From day one, you remember the rollout on X, like it was just, nonstop hilarity.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to fucking still ain't vouching for DeSantis. I'm still, anti-DeSantis.
Right, but I'm saying fan. Trump. I'm saying as far as Trump is concerned, none of this has to do with, my opinion or your opinion. I mean, this is like, this is all real shit. And just because he kisses the ring, it's okay, but he's still taking jabs at him and shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I really hope that DeSantis doesn't get a cabinet position. I mean, people are talking about, Trump putting him in as a Secretary of Defense. I disagree. I think the dude's a fucking warmonger. I think, he's as we saw, he has no thoughts of his own. He's basically with what the old politics represents, right? My favorite moment from the DeSantis campaign was during I think it was the first GOP debate, where they asked the question, if you're elected president, will you pardon Donald Trump? And basically, Ramaswamy, of course, like bam, fucking a couple other people and shit, and then Ron DeSantis pulls this one.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta see which way the wind's blowing first.
Right. And it's a bad leadership characteristic to have. Like you literally have to look around, and I get it. Like you're supposed to be, in politics and stuff. You're supposed to listen to the constituency, see what the people are thinking before you make your decisions and all that type of shit. But when you're in an executive position, basically when you're in charge of enforcement, basically the direction of the nation, our outside relations with other countries, things like that. When you're basically the executive face of America, you need to be the person in charge. You don't have time to look around and see what the fuck everyone else wants you to do. You have to make the right decision because you know that it's the right decision. And that's what Donald Trump represents. And like I say, I don't think that DeSantis is even capable of doing that type of shit. Again, once Laura Loomer said that Ron DeSantis has fucking he's on the spectrum, I can't fucking unsee it now, dude. Like the dude has fucking Asperger's, like at bare minimum, you know. Like the dude's awkward as fuck. And like I say, he represents the, you know, everything that is spineless about what Republicans have been for the last several decades. You know, he represents the spinelessness of Republicans. He's basically one of the people that, you know, he's there to you know, whatever position you appoint me to, you know, whatever I'm needed, you know, whatever you guys need me to do, I'll play my role and all that type of shit. He's basically, like I said, he's comfortable with I don't know, just being the yes man. You know, I don't think he's really got very much you know, ideas of his own.
And I see
that's my rant on DeSantis.
A lot of delusion, man, as far as, you know, like all over the inner zones, like is the people that are his, you know, hardened supporters are just as lunatic as the left, man. Like they attack you with crazy shit, posts like, you know, that they Photoshop Ron into like Nazi imagery and, you know what I mean, all sorts of crazy shit, and you know, their posts. I mean, it's like a Nikki Haley post, like, you know what I mean? Worth winnings. You know what I mean? Like, and he drops out like an hour later and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, you know.
Yeah. Fucking hilarious, man. They fucking never back down, man. Like, I've come to announce that I am suspending my campaign. Whew, God damn, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm out of here and back to Florida. But I mean, another character tale of Ron DeSantis. Again, it's one that I point to quite often because it's one that I remember when he was running for re-election for governor of Florida. You know, one of the questions that was really floating around that people are asking him is, if you run and we elect you governor, are you going to, you know, do your full 4-year term as governor? Basically, because he would have had, you know, 2 years. And then the 2024 election, which would have been now, is, you know, they're basically asking him, are you going to run for president in 2024? Or are you going to stay here and be our governor as we have elected you to be? And he basically said, "Oh, I'm Florida governor all the way.
Yeah, like we have work to do. We're not finished." And the whole political spiel. And like you were saying about, you know, needing basically advisors and stuff. I mean, like he was in the legislature, right? That was his previous position before being governor. And then before that, he was a pencil pusher in the military, right? Yep. And so like he's used to that atmosphere where it's like slow going. It's debate. It's, you know, it's like a slow moving machine, dude. You know what I mean? And so that's where his mind frame comes from. I see, to me anyway, and that's where the whole look comes. It's like, you know, are we going to come to an agreement or fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, and I see that as well. Him being too pliable. I see him giving in to being squishy, like we see with the GOP on a daily basis at this point. Like the whole new, he's a hard MAGA fucking speaker, right? And then immediately starts signing fucking continuing resolutions and shit, and you know, right. big package bills, you know what I'm saying? I thought we were doing single bill fucking resolutions out here, and you know, it's all just a traps game, dude.
Right. Yeah, that's what I say, man. I think, you know, fucking spending when it comes to Congress, that's like fucking heroin. And you know, they ain't gonna give it up. You know, they ain't even gonna consider giving it up. They ain't even gonna bring up the discussion of giving it up. You know.
But Joe Biden cut the deficit by 1.6 trillion.
Right.
Fuck. As it goes over 34, like, he's fucking killing it. He's cutting it down, man. It just went up 4 trillion.
Fucking big things, man.
Right. Really cutting.
All right.
Just so you know, guys, as you're getting this spiel, If anyone out there listening to this has the slightest moniker of support for Joe Biddens, which I hope if you're here you don't, but in that case, you're hearing him making the rounds saying they just need $15 billion to help secure the border. That he's already gone through $20 billion in 2 years.
Right. Yeah. You know, they need fucking they need pencil pushers. They need people to make sandwiches, god damn it. You know? Right? Yeah, so fucking what was that article you sent me? It was basically I didn't check out the article, but I did, you know, kind of look into some of what the situation was, where they're basically trying to get Ronna McDaniels to basically, I guess, say that Donald Trump is basically, you know, going to be our nominee, so that way they don't have to continue spending money on fucking caucuses and primaries in different states and shit.
Couple of different heads of different GOP, state GOPs coming together to sign a fucking, you know, a deal to like, let's announce he's the presumptive.
Right.
And, you know, with Ronna McDaniel actually came out and said that she thinks that, you know, Nikki Haley should drop out, that it's time to coalesce behind Trump. But Trump went on to basically turn it down. So at his direction, he said, I want to do it the old way. I want to see people vote at the fucking ballot box. And that's how I'll be your nominee, man. Right. But he's a fascist. He's fucking orange Hitlers.
He's going to put an end to democracy. Let me tell you, he's going to announce himself president for life. I bet you. Watch.
Right. But you won't hear this stuff on mainstream media, of course. You know, you have to read down at fucking Slayer, the National Pulse. Those are two of the fucking hottest ass news fucking sites around right now. Of course, if you look them up, you know, on a Google site or something, it's gonna fucking, you know, this is horrible sites. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's just fucking news from a right-wing angle. I mean, they break down everything you could possibly think of.
Freaking good old Slay News.
Yeah.
All right.
Good shit.
All right. So, how you want to tackle this Texas thing, man? Fucking, you want to go ahead and we'll start with the Supreme Court ruling, man. So the Supreme Court ruled, I don't remember which day it was, but they basically said that, what is it? They didn't necessarily say that they have to take down the barbed wire, the razor wire fencing, but they basically said that the Border Patrol the federal Border Patrol can go ahead and start removing or something. I'm not too sure what the whole ruling was. You know what that whole thing was, but essentially what it is like I said at the beginning of the show, Supreme Court has basically just ruled borders to be unconstitutional.
They basically just said the state can't go against fucking, you know, the government, man, the federal government. Is, you know what I mean? As Texas was already, you know, installing the barbed wire, they had a stay put on them by a lower court saying that the Biden regime, you know, had to stop destroying it at the cost of the Texas taxpayers. And, you know, the Supreme Court came in and said, nope, they can remove it. You know what I mean? But they didn't say you can't put more up. So instead, you know, the governor there's like, let's just pile it the fuck on and make their job as hard as possible. If they're going to come in here, we're not going to relinquish control. They're going to have to take it. And then when they take it, they're going to have to cut through a quarter mile of fucking razor wire.
Good deal, man. So let's see. Basically, that is leading now to a standoff between Texas and the Biden administration. Right. So we got this post here from Brandon Herrera. It says, I'm surprised I even have to say it, but I stand completely behind Texas Governor Greg Abbott in his stand against Biden's intentional border crisis. I'm glad to see our governor is leading the charge with the support of so many other states against this insane federal policy. All right, so here are the 25 states that are now in support of Texas' constitutional right to self-defense. According to the RGA, over half of American states are taking up a stand against the Biden border crisis. See, we got...
wait, hold on one second. I just want to put out there that Ron DeSantis did exactly what we just talked about. He was like the 18th state to lend his fucking support. So he stood out there and looked both ways and waited till states on either side of him said that they were going to back, you know, the situation before he went in.
Right. Yeah.
Gotta throw that out there.
You gotta dip your toe in the water first, man. You know, you gotta see a couple other people jump in first, you know. Shit, America not first in that fucking department.
Right.
Yeah, as you can see here from this map, it's looks like the fucking Civil War map line, from the movie and shit. But uh, yeah, of course, Arizona and New Mexico has not joined the support, and that's because, of course, as we talked about earlier, we have a installed corrupt Democrat
The
governor
same,
right now.
and Colorado.
Right.
Colorado is one of the fucking deepest, most mentally disturbed leftist joints in the fucking planet.
Right. But it really does kind of let you know, who's basically on the sides of MAGA towns right now in America, right? And as we could see, what is it? Chicago or Illinois, basically, is not in support, even though the people of Illinois are probably pretty in support of closing down the border and basically Texas, defending their border, so that way they could stop getting the busloads. We also have New York, who's also not giving their support. Basically a lot of the whole New England area, the whole northeastern United States, not showing support. But either way, the majority of states that fucking actually matter, the red-blooded America, the heart of America, those are the people that are actually coming out and showing support.
Yeah, and New York, like you said, I mean, they're claiming to be crumbling under the weight of immigration as well, to where you had Eric Adams, going to the White House to talk shit, and then, of course, immediately being accused of some type of sexual crime. That's modus operandi of the left at this point, man. You'd think that guy would want to jump on, but of course, even though the dude's going to destroy his political capital over the situation, he's going to stick to the political fucking tow line. And Arizona, like we were talking earlier, fucking case, Scaby Hobbs, dude, destroying the joint, and we're now become, the byway for the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Like in Arizona and that one tiny little patch of New Mexico.
Yeah,
Of course,
and fuck off to all the leftists that love to say, like, you see a map like this when you show that the vast majority of people vote red, and they're like, well, land doesn't vote just because we don't live in apartment complexes on top of each other and 10 deep doesn't mean that fucking there's not tens of millions of us that are sick of everyone's shit.
right. Yeah, it's because we don't like fucking living, where we could hear our neighbors blow their fucking nose and wipe their ass every fucking morning, So, doesn't mean they were not there, man.
You don't live in an overcrowded, disgusting ass shithole. Your vote shouldn't count.
Right.
What?
Now let me lecture you about your carbon footprint. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, the people that literally live in cities that are filled with actual human shit are telling you about your fucking carbon footprint for fucking driving and working, doing your
I live
fucking
out
job.
in the middle of the desert under a bunch of solar panels, and I'll get the lecture, dude.
Right.
Fucking, you know what I mean?
Yep. So, obviously, we here at the Liberty Bowl stand with Texas, and we support Texas's right to basically protect its borders. Right? We stand with the Lone Star State. All right. As per whether or not this is going to turn into a hot conflict, my personal opinion is no. I don't think that it's going to come down to the point. At least right now, of Texas National Guard and the United States Border Patrol actually standing at each other, on opposite sides and starting to fire at each other. I highly, highly, highly doubt it's going to come to that.
It's right now with them, those particular groups you just named, they're actually like together on this, man.
Right.
Like, the head of the CBP posted here on the Twitter zones that basically it's the admin, you know what I mean, that they don't have any beef with the state guard there, and that they actually work together and they have a close relationship, that they're back in the situation and they have no intention of trying to come and remove the razor wire.
Yeah. So as I had mentioned, earlier, like in this, it's the going forward with it, going into 2024, it's an insurance plan, right? So win or lose, 2024, the 2024 election, it's a insurance plan for the Democrats. Like I said, it's going to be bad optics when Trump has to deport all of these people. It's gonna be a lot of public outrage. Right. Of course, there's the media is going to report it in the most crazy way that they can. They're going to have AOC out there in front of in a Walmart parking lot, crying in front of fake fences and shit.
Socialist titties.
Right. It's going to be a full on circus, right? So there, like I say, it's an insurance plan for if they lose, or of course, if they win, then they just do blanket amnesty, and then they have their next, several generations of Democrat voters, right?
Yeah, and again, before anyone goes into the whole meltdown of fucking, illegals aren't voting, even if there was a point where you could prove that they're not voting in federal elections, we know they are in state elections, right? Several states have issued them the ability, but it's about the census count. The census does not count people as illegal or not. They just count them as people living here, and then so that dictates your representation. You know what I mean? Like California, they say would lose 7 seats if you took out all the people that aren't supposed to be in that fucking state.
Fucking ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's basically, like I said, that's their insurance plan. So this particular situation of basically the United States Border Patrol and the Texas National Guard, at odds with each other, not necessarily them themselves, as we pointed out. They're basically ideologically both on the same side. But of course, the United States Border Patrol is commanded by none other than Joe fucking Bidens, right? So basically, if Joe Biden says, oh, go remove the fences, well, they by default have to follow orders. Otherwise, they're going to be held responsible for that. They're not going to be held responsible for aiding and abetting invasion of the United States, but they'll be held responsible for not aiding and abetting an invasion of the United States, right? So ideologically, they don't even want to fucking be down there doing this bullshit. They think this is just as stupid as the fucking as the National Guard does, right? They think this is just as much of a government overreach as the National Guard does. So basically, the optics of what's going on right now is it's really bad for Joe Biden, right? So either one, he has to basically stand down. Joe Biden basically has to stand down, and that's basically what Joe Biden has to do either way. Because as we said, I don't think that the United States Border Patrol would even follow the orders of Joe Biden when he says to, then do what you have to do and take the place by force. I highly doubt that they would do that. And again, that's really bad optics for dude. He can't even command the respect of his own troops. So
I think federal agents would be a different story, man. You know what I mean? When it comes to like the state, you know what I'm saying? As far as that's concerned, the state border patrol and whatnot, I think you're going to have a harder time. But just like, when we speak about police or what have you, you bring in people from the other side of the country that have no fucking communal ties or don't give two shits because it hasn't affected them yet. And they'll come follow orders, man. And, we prosecuted fucking Nazis for just following orders. But, you're supposed to accept the fact that there's a lot of these people that work for the government that are going to use that excuse for fucking, perpetuating this invasion, man.
Right. But I mean, either way, even if he does give the order to do so, it's bad optics. It's going to look all bad, even if they do follow these orders,
Yeah. So to me, it looks bad either way. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's bad optics for Joe Bidens either way. And like, we're saying it's going to be used for Trump. They're going to blame it on Trump either way. But to me, it's anyone with a cognitive process, it's bad on Biden. It's either he's going to fight to make it obvious he's, perpetuating the invasion, or he's going to attack our own countrymen, man.
Right. Or he's going to back down and again make himself look weak, which we know that he is, so it's a lose situation for Joe Biden right here. And that's why Greg Abbott, is empowered to basically say, like, fuck it. Any other states want to come join? We're standing right here. We're fucking securing this border, because he knows that, like I say, any move that Joe Biden makes right now is a losing situation for him. And of course, the only thing that fucking matters right now in any of this, the only reason any of this shit is happening is because it's an election year, right? And that's the most important thing to fucking Joe Biden and the Democrats. But I'd say mostly Joe Biden at this point, because the Democrats really do not want Joe Biden. The Democrats care very much about an election. And so in order for them to actually win the next election, they know that they have to get rid of fucking Joe Biden. So, but in terms of Joe Biden getting reelected, that's his top priority.
Yeah. trying to appeal to fucking a voter block that he's losing at a rapid pace, man. And like I said, regardless, I mean, some of them may vote for Trump, but I'm obviously the vast majority would never even consider it. But I mean, even if they're voting for Cornel West or whatever, it's good for us, man.
Yeah. But I think it's like I say, it's probably gonna end up being torn apart in multiple directions. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Roseanne is gonna win that fucking bet with Michael Malice. I think fucking a whirlwind is coming. By this time next year, America is probably gonna be unrecognizable.
I don't think it'll be that far. I think it'll be a rerun. That's what I see. I see 2017, man. I see the election happening, and I see DC being burned down the next fucking day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I see it being, like I said, I see I see fucking Antifa going a lot farther than they had gone previously. I see some major some major uprisings on the left hand side, and of course where's the left hand side, where's their concentration? It's in major cities, so fucking Los Angeles, New York, all these places are gonna get major fucking attacks by Antifas and shit. But again, like I said, that's going to be good for us. Again, they go out there and make fucking asses of themselves. We the Trump administration actually gets to go in this time, and as opposed to the time during the summer of love, actually get to say, nope, fuck it, shut them down. And again, Trump looks fucking strong, Trump fucking saving the damn country like he is supposed to, So again,
yeah, I mean that's the scam Tifas. Like I said, that's a replay of 2017. That's what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The more worry is about the fucking foreigners that have poured through, the Africans, the Palestinians, all these fucking Islamic fucking countries that have poured through the borders, northern and southern, and again. Biden's steadily pushing for World War III. This dude's pushing fucking, is getting closer to bombing Iran. And that's going to set these fools off. And it'll be right around the time Trump's coming in, and terrorist activities, like you're saying, are going to step it up. And Tifa ain't going to have to worry about it because, you're going to have, a bunch of jihadis fucking doing many 9/11s and shit out this bitch.
Right. I'm sure they'll be right there in support with them. It's going to be a whole,
they'll
whole
be
bunch
out there
of
with their Palestinian
right.
flag,
right. We support your rights.
Yeah.
fucking brainwashed idiots, dude. Like complete fucking morons, man.
Comment, the question in the fucking comments is so Supreme Court said they could take it down or no? Like, yeah, they said that the Biden regime could take it down, but they didn't say that fucking Texas had to stop putting it up.
Right. So now we're basically in this giant fucking spending tug of war right now. Except the tug of war is with actual fucking razor wire. So
yeah, and you don't want to go too far on the juice tubes here, but of course, you have more than just Greg Abbott calling. You have landowners across the border there through Texas putting out videos on Instagram and fucking TikToks, the Twitter spheres, saying that they're quitting their jobs and all kinds of shit to protect the areas that are now starting to be overran because of the areas that are now covered by the razor wire. And making a call to saying, where's the American men? Where's the real American men? Come down here and fucking help defend America.
You're right. This is our 1776 moment, brothers. Yep. I don't know. So in terms of Arizona, how do you think that's going to play out? Like, because obviously something has to give here, like, I don't think we could continue down the same path. As you said, a lot of the stuff going on in Texas is going to bottleneck a lot of these immigrants into here in Arizona, and that's going to cause a major, an even worse crisis than we have now.
Yeah, and it's far stretching. I mean, you see, even in Colorado right now, they're saying that their medical system's so overwhelmed that they've spent something like $186 million just in the Denver area, medical care for illegals and whatnot in the last year. I mean, it's the same thing happening in New Mexico. Something's got to give at some point. And, it's not just going to be here in Arizona. Like you said, there's New Mexico and us, but it's definitely going to bottleneck west because Texas is not having the shit. And I think, we're going to see a lot more activity. I think that, it's the whole Dan Bongino theory. Is it bad enough yet? Comes into play here. And it's, is it bad enough yet? And until, we have them parked all over the joint like they're having them in, Eagle Pass. No, it's not. It's not going to change. I mean, you see, like here in Tucson, they're open, renovating old buildings and shit to house these people. I mean, it's our governor's buying them plane tickets to wherever they want to go.
Yep.
So on and so forth.
Fucking gift cards, all that shit. Fucking ridiculous shit, man.
Yeah.
So
you got Arizona sheriffs attesting to $5,000 gift cards.
All right, so like I said, that's going to increase here in Arizona. That's going to get much worse, and we also, like I said, we have this election coming up this year, and again, we haven't fixed a goddamn thing. So we have the giant, overpopulation, the mass flooding in of migrants here in America, in Arizona, and plus, again, Katie Hobbs willing and offering to spend all of our state resources to basically house them and get them wherever they need to go. And then at the same time, even if we were to try and vote these people out, even if we were to try and change things here in Arizona, the correct way, they're going to fucking rig the Arizona elections again this year, And so that is going to be another major. It's going to be.
Didn't you say before the Secretary of State signed something saying that it's illegal to hand count ballots here now?
Yeah. Like I said, the election. Arizona's election this year. Let me make this very clear: is not going to be any different than the previous two, right? And that's going to be another big factor that's going to lead to the us getting higher up in our boiling point here in Arizona. Right, so that's one thing that I kind of wonder about Arizona, because the fact that, like I say, we have corruption deep embedded, like literally within our within our system, institutionalized within the system, and so therefore, we don't have. It's not like we're going to be able to mobilize the Arizona National Guard to basically make Arizona safe again. To make Arizona not just a offshoot of California, to make Arizona not California 2.0. If we're not able to do that through elections, what other recourse do we, patriotic Arizonans, which again is the majority of the state, in land mass, again, it's just minus the large cities, Phoenix and Tucson, the rest of the state is pretty much, Republican, So again, what's that? What would that lead to in Arizona?
I mean, you'd hope a mirror picture of Texas. You know what I mean? Like we were saying earlier, I mean, you got hundreds of semis headed down there right now to help protect. They're willing to pick, patriots up across the country on their way to bring them down. And you hope we'd see that kind of turnout and support. And, at least people are willing to fucking, I guess, give your life for your country, man. It's coming to that point. And they keep fucking joking you and gaslighting us into believing that everything's okay across fucking MSM and, any kind of broad stream fucking interzones. But in reality, everything's fucked, man. Everything is fucked.
Yeah. And then again, like we saw with the Summer of Love, they're not even going to tell you when the shit actually has hit the fan. When the shit has hit the fan, they will literally have streaks of shit on their face, and they'll be telling you, this is fine. It's mostly peaceful out here. Like things are great. Nothing to see here, you guys. Meanwhile, fucking cop cars are burning, fucking people getting shot right behind them and shit. Yeah,
that shit to me should go down as an iconic moment fucking in history, dude. I mean, that right there is the whole dead giveaway of the Smith Modernization Act. Dude, literally standing in front of a burning building, telling you fucking, well, it's fiery, but it's mostly peaceful.
Right. I think that's going to be, just I'm pretty sure there's several books already titled Fire but Mostly Peaceful, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's if you put that in and in a Google search bar, I'm sure you'd come up with quite a few results of of all sorts of fucking chicanery. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. But yeah, that's become fucking iconic.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Fucking Dogface says in the chat, or Biden plans to not leave his office because of civil war. Right. So again, like we said, the Rachel Maddow projection predictions, I guess, would be coming true at that point. Like she said, like Donald Trump's going to weaponize the DOJ against his political opponents. Oh, Biden did that. Donald Trump's going to start World War III. Oh yeah, Biden's doing that. And Donald Trump's going to announce
Donald Trump wasn't paying his taxes. Oh yeah, that was
right.
Biden.
Oh yeah, that was Biden. Huh? Donald Trump's going to declare himself president for life. Like I said, that's the last fucking step for Joe Biden to do. And like I said, Joe Biden wants to win. I honestly think fucking Joe Biden's like personally wants to win. Like I think fucking his brain is mushed enough to where he's like I'm the only man that could save us from the maggots. I honestly think that Joe Biden's his own best. In Joe Biden's mind, he's the fucking hero of the story. Meanwhile, the Democrats are telling him like, Joe, fucking play your fucking role, dude. Go fucking bow out, man. Go go sniff some kids.
The Jews tube filtered out that comment you just read, man. Like you're the only one that can see it. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's not there. I even just closed it out, like tripping. Like, is my shit lagging or something? Like, no, it's not there, man.
That's weird. Yeah. I have it pulled up on the chat here in Oh, actually, cool. See, there we go. Yeah, I could actually pop them up on the screen. But yeah, we got the chat over here on Restream itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm like I say, obviously for living here, Arizona is definitely my main concern in terms of how things are going to go moving forward. Like I said, it's going to bottleneck all these immigrants toward the Arizona entry points. I mean, Lukeville is already fucking overrun. They had to shut it down for a few days.
Yuma as well. Yeah. Yuma, the hospitals are totally overran. I mean, obviously, that's small town America there, and their hospitals are so overwhelmed that they're like ready to go out of business.
Right.
I mean? Like they can't even sustain.
And the obvious, unfortunate truth here in Arizona, we can't vote ourselves out of this.
Yeah, and it's not even just here in border towns. Brunswick, in New England, they're opening up new, luxury living apartments for the first 2 years of their opening, where some asylees have already started moving in. The state's going to pick up the tab on them for 2 years, and then they'll transfer over to market price, lower cost living. So all the way in New England, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we see the bus loads and, the political fucking theater and whatnot going to Chicago and New York. But I mean, we're talking, again, small town fucking America.
Yep. It's fucked, man. Yeah.
And I myself, man, I was in Kentucky, like 6 months back or so, 7 months ago, and stopped by, the little mall there to get some clothes or whatnot. And the place was just packed with foreigners, man, in fucking Kentucky, in the woods.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like I say, this is and at a. I'll see if I can find the video here in a second, actually. But they know they're well aware of what this level of immigration does to a country, right? As I'll try and find here in a minute. There's a video of Barack Obama.
It's told in the Fall of Rome,
right?
Fucking volume 1 through fucking 8.
Let's see if I can find this video. Yeah, here we go. Do you see that Rumple started putting ads on their shit?
Yeah, I did. That's what I was thinking. Like, are you going to get paid for that, man? It's on my video. Like,
right.
What if I don't agree with that product?
This is a resurfaced video of then Senator Barack Obama from back in 2005. Where he's basically stressing the importance of a secure border.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants.
Right. So they know damn well what the fuck they're doing. They know that this is how you destroy a country from the inside out, right? These people do not give two shits about America. They don't give two shits about me. They don't give two shits about you. And for damn sure, they don't give two shits about these so-called asylum seekers that are just coming here to seek refuge, and the goodness of Americans, like they do not give a fuck about that. Their only concern is power, and their only fear is the loss of power, right? And that's what we're seeing. All this political witch hunts, all this again trying to sabotage their own nation so that way they may rule over the ashes. These people don't give a shit about anything other than their own power.
Yeah, and it's technically, seeking asylum, you'd go to the next country over. You know what I mean?
Right.
Basically, the next safe haven. And there's people pouring in from the Middle East, Africa, India. It's not like it's just from Mexico or something. And then even still, for Brazilians, Venezuelans, Guatemalans, and the list just keeps going. I mean, these people are passing through, sometimes multiple countries to get here, crossing oceans and shit.
China.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, fucking Chinese nationals, fucking.
Yeah.
And,
we're up to about 120,000 or so at this point, I think.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Check out this real quick extra Biden gaffe that he went ahead and did today, and then actually a small little video that I put together of basically some illegal immigrants that are actually sneaking over the border for whatever reason. I mean, you don't need to sneak over the fucking border. You could literally walk over and we'll give you a fucking $5,000 gift card and a plane ticket wherever the fuck you want to go. So why the fuck do they have people sneaking over? Well, the weird thing about these people sneaking over is what they're all wearing. They all seem to be wearing the same shit, all wearing, gear that looks like it was all bought at the same time by the same fucking people. It pretty much looks like they're coming over in uniform in the dead of night or in the trunks of cars. We'll get into that in a second. We'll go ahead and laugh at this Biden gaffe real quick. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. He's talking something about beer
somewhere
being
in
brewed.
Wisconsin.
Right. Fucking hilarious. Check this shit out.
The beer brewed here, it is used like the brew beer in this refinery. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes. I wonder what was going on.
And no, that's not fucking
did
edited.
you just
That's
say,
real
old man?
shit. Right. It's all over the inner zones, man. Fucking, you could find that shit anywhere. Like, it's literally real. It's not edited, man. It's too much.
Right. Fucking crazy ass shit, man. That dude has lost his fucking mind, man. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and people are laughing about it. It's like the president sampled too much of the beer. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that is not good. That's cognitive decline. That's not beer. They don't let them near alcohol. It interacts with fucking Alzheimer's medicine, man.
Shit, not to mention all the fucking adrenochromes and shit that he's got to take.
Right.
All right, so like I said, they're sneaking these people over in the dead of night, and all these people look like they're all dressed in fucking military uniforms, or some sort of military garb. They're all basically like I said, it looks like all of their shit was paid for by the same fucking people, and like I said, the news will not tell us who these people are, right? Again, this design right here, it's going to be a shirt that I'm going to be making. Will be for sale pretty soon. On the old interwebs. Again, I haven't actually made a site yet, but I'll be getting to work on that fairly soon. Again, no promises on when it would be, but here's a design there. But really does kind of point out the reality of what's going on here in America right now.
Patrol arrested a driver for allegedly smuggling undocumented immigrants into the trunk of a car. Take a look at this. These are pictures posted on Border Patrol's X account Wednesday. CBP says the discovery was made during a traffic stop near Sells last week. The two undocumented immigrants, both dressed in camouflage, were found in the sedan's trunk and another inside the vehicle. Border Patrol did not release the suspect's identity.
From the southern border, Border Patrol reporting that they had arrested 9 undocumented immigrants near Douglas. Also, take a look at your screen here. These 9 immigrants dressed in camouflage were arrested by agents on horse patrol near the Arizona-New Mexico state line last week after illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. CBP officials did not say what charges those immigrants are facing.
That's a fucking gang, dude.
Right. I've done my fucking research, bro. I know a gang when I see one. Right. That right there is a fucking gang, man. But no, I mean, again, like I say, it looks like they're all. Like, it doesn't look like they're wearing actually like military uniforms. I mean, yeah, they're all wearing.
It looks
pretty
like
much
military
the same
surplus shit for sure.
Right. It looks like they are all probably bought, at a fucking military overstock fucking shit. But again, they're all wearing the same shit. These people were basically sponsored to come here, and it's very important that they did not come through the regular checkpoint. It's very important that they came here secretly, that, they came here under cover of night. And it's very important that, we don't know who the fuck these people are, right? Even the news won't release the names. They won't report who these people are. But this is a common thing. This isn't like just a one-off thing. This is like a daily occurrence. In fact, these two occurrences happened on the same day. Like this is the same day here in Arizona, right? And this is it. Like I said, it's a common occurrence. So much so to the point where our shit ass congressman is basically using the power of the federal government to make running from the police within, I think it's 100 miles of the border, a federal crime, right? So like I say, it's a common occurrence. It's basically a daily type thing that goes on. They're smuggling drugs. They're bringing in fucking people of military age that look like they are, like I said, sponsored by somebody. For who that person is, I have no fucking clue. But one thing that we do know for certain, we have a lot of fucking enemies in the world. That's one thing that is for certain, right? And we're just letting anybody over here that wants to come over, and that's obviously unsustainable. Fucking it's dangerous. It's destroying our country right now, and like I say, it's intentional. This is not an accident. This isn't a flaw. This is a feature.
Yeah, and obviously it's the Biden administration that's orchestrating the invasion, and letting it happen regardless if funding or anything like that. But the guy that he has in charge, of course, the ever slimy Alejandro Mayorkas, before his current position, up until right before he was nominated to the position, was with an organization called HIAS. Right, and you guys check that out. You can Google it. It's it's there. It's not a conspiracies, and they're a uniform that pushes, advocates for open borders, legal advocacy for illegals and whatnot. They get a lot of funds, NGOs and shit that directly fund this kind of shit. And it's also our Red Cross. You can see videos going around the inner zones where they're showing you all this Red Cross gear, makeshift camps in the middle of the desert, and also Catholic places, claiming to be part of the Catholic Church or what have you. Whether it is or not, I have no clue. But they're the same thing, all their marked gear and whatnot, and piles of food, pallets of water, and they're doing this shit out in the middle of the desert, where obviously the vast majority of us are never going to see, and or if we do, we assume it's just a homeless camp, like that's becoming a regular sight here, and it's actually just being orchestrated right in front of you, man.
All right. Yep. Orchestrated by the Biden administration themselves. This is a planned destruction of America. It's a planned destabilization of America. Some crazy shit going on, man. Some a lot of suspicious shit going on. But one thing's for sure, it's becoming a much more apparent to anybody that like I said, has eyeballs and 2 fucking brain cells to rub together. Yeah, fucking crazy shit going on. But let's see. You wanna talk about speaking of crazy shit going on, man, let's talk about Alexander Soros, of course, son of George Soros, infamous psychopathic, power hungry, world domination driven socialist, George Soros. So basically, his son put out an article, or he retweeted an article on X, and basically there was two pictures that were associated with the article, and that was one, a bullet hole through a window, and two, a person holding what you would count as $47. So if that's not some sort of cryptic message, I don't know what the fuck is. But as again,
to be paid in silver,
right? Yeah, absolutely crazy shit, man. And not crazy shit. Like you said, it's something that we predicted on this show. Like I said, they're getting desperate. They're seeing the writing on the wall, and they're seeing that Trump is becoming more popular with each attack. That they tried to push on him. They're getting down to, it's literally, they have one option left, and it's going to be make sure that he does not at any cost become president of the United States again. And like I said, to be paid in silver. And that's because they know that the death of Donald Trump by way of assassination would completely destabilize the fucking country.
Death of the dollar.
Right. Right. It'd be absolute bedlam overnight. And, paper money is going to be worth, its weight in fucking firewood,
Doo-doo. Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, like doo-doo's better. It actually burns longer.
Right. And again, whether or not that was the intended message, which I believe it was, a lot of people are going to receive that as the intended message, especially now that the discussion has gone out as to whether or not that was the intended message. So whether or not it was the intended message, it had the same effect, Basically, people out there are aware of the fact that there's people in high up places that are willing to pay you some money for you to just have a random thought by yourself. Don't know where it came from, but I think I'm going to go out and assassinate a person of power today,
And before someone thinks about it, look back through history. Even if the people were successful, they're usually dead pretty quickly, or they die in some horrible fucking prison conditions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to get your silver. You know what I mean? Your silver is going to be fucking the cuffs behind your back, dude. Fucking the chains on your ankles.
Yep. That's what I said. One of my predictions for 2024 is that somebody is going to attempt to assassinate Trump. I don't think they're going to be successful at it, but I believe somebody will take up, that cryptic, I'll give it that, cryptic offer to assassinate Trump. I think somebody will take that up, and I think they're going to make an attempt. And again, I think the mainstream media is going to try and pretend that it never happened. They're going to try and sweep it under the rug, and they're going to try and call it a conspiracy theory. Trump was never in no sort of dangers at all. There's the guy happen to get within a mile of him if he wanted to. No,
it's right wing's fascisms. He's trying to set himself up as the fucking emperor.
Right.
Bam, 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 bam. You know what I'm saying? Due to the battle with the fucking Jedi, I've been horribly scarred.
Yep. So, again, if I can, they're going to get desperate. They're seeing the writing on the wall, and they're seeing their great plans have been foiled yet again. Curse you, Donald Trumps and the MAGA's Republicans. Curse you, Trumps and the Patriots.
That's your greatest draconian voice, dude.
All
That's
right.
great.
Yep. That's my Gavin Newsom impression.
To thunderous applause, dude. That was wonderful.
Right.
It sounded just like him. Your ability to do impressions is astounding.
I've been told, I'm a mix between Fergie and Jesus. I've been called the voice of my generation.
Right. Fucking songbird.
Right. My generation's fucking idiots, though, man. Fuck. Really wasn't that hard to do. Right?
Mine's apathetic, I'd have to say, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess being an idiot's a reasonable excuse. Like, you don't know no better. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But apathetic, you're just like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you missed your chance to take power. That's why there's dinosaurs still in office. It went from dinosaurs to millennials.
Yeah, it's the new generation. Yeah,
Right.
I said your generation was pretty much there. They were in that Goldilocks fucking zone. They're like, yeah, you got nothing to fucking worry about, man. Fuck it, shit's gonna get taken care of. Shit's been getting taken care of. Like America's woo, America
Lived it up. What I consider
Right.
to be Western civilization's fucking zenith was like the
Right.
late 90s, early 2000s.
Let's go snort some cocaine off some fucking strippers' titties in Vegas, guys. Woo!
Dum, 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 with your fucking $250 plane ticket and fucking
Right.
yeah, good times.
Yep. Yeah, those were the times, man. That's why I think your generation they were distracted. They were living it up.
Yeah, tatties and nirvanas and methamphetamines.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That was the generation, man. That was it. That was the era.
It was pretty good times, man. Some people. What's the next topic, man?
Real quick, let's touch on old Peter Navarro and the double standard of our justice. I mean, we've really been kind of talking about the double standard of our justice system, the absolute corruption and just I guess corruption and perversion of our justice system. But we have another one here. Oh, Peter Navarro. All right. He was sentenced to 4 months in prison for basically telling the January 6th committee to go fuck themselves. Right? Here's the January 6th committee, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
I believe
either way is congressional subpoena.
Right. Right. Basically told them to go shove it up their ass. Right. And so basically, that is quite literally the exact same thing that Hunter Biden did just a couple weeks ago. Right. So Peter
made a show of it.
Right. Right. He fucking gave a press conference on the steps instead. Right. And they basically said, "Oh, I'm here. I'm right here to answer any questions that they may have." And then he gets into a car and gets driven away immediately.
Navarro just said, "That's why."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And so Navarro, as we know, was perp walked through the airport. It was about a year ago, something like that.
It's been that long already.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's now been basically found guilty, I guess, or whatever the fuck it is, or guilty of not coming and answering my request to see you. So he's been sentenced to 4 months in prison. Meanwhile, like I said, Hunter Biden goes ahead and walks free. Clear double standard. But then again, you never know. I mean, if the Republicans in Congress had any sort of spine, they're going to file fucking the same charges against Hunter Biden, like immediately. It should have been done already, They're going to file the same contempt charges against Hunter. Yeah.
Not to mention Democrats do this all the time, man. I mean, going back to, in my fucking memory anyway, the Obama admin was famous for this. Anytime someone got a congressional subpoena that Obama didn't want in front of Congress, he would claim executive fucking, privilege and get him out of it. Mainly his AG, Eric Holder, fucking racist, communist, Marxist, fucking anti-colonialist gun runner. And, it's, with, Operation Fast and Furious, prime example. We had, Americans die as well as Mexicans. And, it was executive privilege. He doesn't have to go. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, he's a good boy. He plays ball. He doesn't have to go.
Right. Again, it just goes back to it's the hearken of the deep hypocrisy. It's not even a two-tiered system; it's a single-tiered. It's the political elite and the fucking rest of us. You know what I mean? Anyone else would have already, like, if a Donald Trump situation, if you were a threat to the machine, you would have already been ran under. The only reason he isn't is because he's the most recognizable fucking face on the planet. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, when you say that, people go, they try to get, oh no, it's not just him. Like, I mean, it was the same when Barack was president. It was, the same for Bill Clinton's, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the U.S. president is almost always the most recognizable face on the damn planet.
Right. Yeah. And that's why we need it to be goddamn Trump, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just deep hypocrisy. Like, they've always done this shit. They'll let everything. I mean, even from the, the whole election denial. I mean, we've played footage on here many times of, Democrats through the decades just steady with, holding up elections and litigation and, trying to fucking turn delegates and let's have alternate electors and so on and so forth. And I heard your phone go off there on Messenger, man. That's actually those Hayes about the Alejandro Mayorkas shit.
We want to pop that up real quick. All right, so Hayes congratulates board member Alejandro Mayorkas on DHS nomination. This was
So I'll let you know he was involved in this shit up until the point.
Right. This is written November 23rd, 2020. Hayes congratulates board member Alejandro Mayorkas on being named by President-elect Joe Biden to be the new Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. If confirmed, Mayorkas would be the first Latino head to the department that implements and manages U.S. immigration policies. See, in post-service civilian life, Mayorkas served as a board member of the Refugee Resettlement Agency HIAS, which advocates for higher numbers and liberal application of asylum regulation and against detention. HIAS was among many groups that also congratulated Mayorkas for the pending appointment.
And that's why, for the American people, you've rarely heard the term fucking asylee or asylum seeker in your damn life. You know what I'm saying? Not since like the late 70s, early 80s. And, that's why you hear that pushed around now. Every fucking person that's coming over the border is an asylee now. And
right.
This is why, because this is the guy that's in charge of the rollout, man.
Right. They're seeking asylum from the tyranny of having a shitty fucking economy.
Yeah. And then you got to bring them in here to the most racist place on the planet, right?
Yeah.
They're definitely in danger of white supremacy, fucking MAGA extreme attacks, bro. But we should let them all in. This is the place to go.
That's right. I've been, I watch the local news and stuff. I've seen like interviews and stuff where people that they're not planning on fucking staying here. They're not trying to enrich America. They're not trying to assimilate to American life. The majority of them
to build themselves a retirement ranch in Mexico.
Right, they're trying to, they're trying to basically send all their money back home. They're trying to basically collect what they can here. Because of course the land of opportunity, especially if you're not from this country, and they're going to send it all back home and basically go back home with that, newfound money, that newfound wealth. They're coming here to drain our fucking country. They're coming here to bleed us dry, like quite literally. And so I say this is a FUBAR, to say the least, man.
Yeah, a prime example. Anyone in the comments, let us know if you are able at this moment to go out and get yourself a business loan, because I can tell you that these people that are coming, through our borders nonstop, they can get business loans and they can hold it for 7 years tax free. You know what I'm saying? For you to get a business loan, you're going to have a concept, a bank account, collateral. I mean, the list just keeps going. A credit score, a fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Fucking
These
co-signers.
cats don't even have fucking ID, and they'll be owning your local liquor store soon.
Right. No, I got an ID, but I got a fucking Obama phone. Good enough for me, man. You're in.
Yep. Here's you a taco restaurant. There's you a liquor store. Here's
right. Yeah, fucking. Welcome to America, buddy. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to vote blue no matter who. Don't forget to vote blue or else.
Who did this for you? I love you, Joe Biden. It's good people, Joe Biden.
Right. And of course, like I said, with the whole mass deportation thing that, needs to happen whenever Trump gets back into office. Again, like I said, those are Democrat voters for life. For life. they're going to be shown as soon as they get here in America. Like, oh, see, if you vote Republican, they're going to deport you. If you ever vote Republican, they're going to deport you immediately. So make sure you vote Democrat for the rest of your fucking life. Make sure you tell your kids and their kids to vote Democrat too. Like, say they're just they're they don't give a fuck. They're sacrificing it all, and they'll just fucking they'll replace them, even their own voters. Like, fuck it. we don't need Chicago.
Yeah, because I mean they're not for the trannies, they're not for the fucking genitals mutilations or fucking indoctrinating fucking elementary school children. None of that. You see that happen in Michigan and other like pretty conservative Arabic and Mexican communities and whatnot. And they're not for it, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even your ideology, like they're against you. Like it's not just us. Like the conspiracy theorists, they're bringing in people that are against your fucking personal interests. Right. Even if we don't agree with them, they're against them as well.
Like, these peoples hate you and they want you dead.
Right. With us, you're still our countrymen, man. Ultimately, we would love to have everything work out and be peaches and Rambos, dude. But you can't do it when you're importing people that are morally incompatible.
Yep. So you ready to get this this cannabis-based article?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just do the headline. I didn't really read the article, man, but everybody's really kind of talking about it, and it's not necessarily, you're not going to get any specific details as to why this court decision went ahead and took place, but basically people are talking about the weed angle to it, right?
The reefer's madnesses.
All right. So let's go ahead and, like I said, it's just a headline, right? So, Good Samaritan, 32, who stabbed her boyfriend 100 times to death in weed-induced frenzy, is sentenced to just 100 hours community service. The judge says she had no control over her actions after cannabis caused a psychotic break. All right, man. So, lot to take in here. Again, the women murdered somebody. The weed has nothing to fucking do with it. Furthermore, I mean, in general, that's not an excuse. you can't say, "Oh, I was drunk at the time," and like, "Oh, he was drinking, dude. He didn't know what he was doing, man." It's not. You cannot blame him for his actions. He was drunk, So basically, my whole thing against this thing is again, that's not an excuse. Again, I'm a fucking weed advocate all day. Shit, I don't give a fuck. Legalize everything, but still, you must understand that you are responsible for your actions while you are under the influence of these certain things. And a lot of the rest of the talk on the conservative side is about like, see, this is what happens when you legalize marijuanas and shit. Like, this is about a bad ruling. This woman did not go into a fucking weed-induced psychosis and stab her boyfriend 108 times. This woman is a psychopath, and she stabbed her boyfriend 108 times. Weed or not, she was going to stab her boyfriend 108 fucking times. And so basically, this starts up the whole conversation about like fucking is this what legal weed is going to do to our society and shit? Like, see, it causes people to go for it. It's literally fucking reefer madness 2.0. Like, see, it causes people to go psycho and fucking want to stab their lovers and this and that type shit. And like, this right here opened up a whole fucking giant can of worms. What's your take, man?
I believe that they're literally trying to claim at this point that it's producing mass psychosis, and like you said, you got both sides of the MSM, and I say both sides just as the illusion of, but obviously it's an establishment arm of the fucking government. You know what I mean? The fourth fucking level, and it's but they've spent time, even from Tucker to like our local Arizona news here, pushing the whole reefer madness thing down to the point when it was coming up for the vote here. We've talked about this before. They had news reporters put on kaleidoscope glasses and they showed the glass lenses on the camera to be like, this is what it looks like. Right. And they had them try to drive and, go-karts like at, like a miniature golf joint, and to see what it was like driving under the effects of marijuana. I mean, it's that extreme to where they truly believe that people are that moronic moronic or that life inexperienced that you would believe that smoking a joint's like having kaleidoscope glasses on. You know what I mean?
This is what you see after smoking just one marijuana.
Yeah, but Tucker, before he was removed from Fox, there was talking about the fact that it's causing psychosis and violent outbreaks and whatnot, and that you're way more amped to commit a violent act if you're using fucking the old Janes, man.
Right.
Pretty hilarious shit. See the comment, of course, fucking Dogface in there does the exact opposite. And you're right, man. I mean, that's the only violence I'm going to commit is like on some fucking peanut butter sandwiches, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit, for real. Matter of fact, when it comes to things that Tucker Carlson advocates for, I'd say shit. Somebody smoking a pack of Newports is more likely to fucking rob your ass and fucking, I mean, not to be racist or anything, but people that typically smoke Newports are much more dangerous than people that typically smoke weed, in my opinion.
That's pretty funny shit,
right? But yeah, if I could, so of course Tucker Carlson is for the flavored tobacco industry because of course that's one of the things that basically the government's trying to get rid of. They're trying to get rid of flavored tobacco of all sorts, and he's really against the weed industry, right? Because of course this stuff right here is going to make you into a violent psychopath. Right? Cheers, guys. Let's go nuts.
Yep, the weed's gonna make you psychotic, but fucking emotional break from fucking nicotine withdrawals isn't. Everybody's got devices. He likes whiskey, cigars, smoked cigarettes until recently. You know what I mean? So I hate that when it's like I'm doing this drug, but you're bad for doing that drug.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous to me, and especially there's people out here that their lives depend on the consuming of fucking pharmaceuticals on a daily basis, and they're like, drugs are bad. Okay.
Right. And I think it really comes just from a fundamental misconception as to what marijuana does to you, as you're talking about, what the whole kaleidoscope glasses and shit. And that's really the the mindset that people actually have when talking about marijuana. Especially a lot of these Nancy Grace fucking hardcore fucking stick up the ass fucking moralist conservatives and shit. I don't know. They really do think that this is what's leading to the degradation of society. I'd say that marijuana as a plant, as the way that its effects are, is really not going to be that detrimental to society as a whole. I think that the culture, perhaps, that has been built up around marijuana use, i.e. Fucking the rap industry, fucking it's really it's been a staple in basically the entire music and entertainment industry since the music and entertainment industry has been a thing, but maybe certain of those cultures and stuff, the type of culture that it brought about might have been detrimental to society, but at the same time the detriment was really, I guess the popularity that it had was really based off of the prohibition of it. It's basically the Streisand effect. They tell you don't smoke that stuff over there, and all of a sudden fucking shit, that's the fucking cool thing to do. Like you ain't cool unless you smoke weed. But as we're seeing now, with the legalization of marijuana, yes, much more people are consuming it on an individual basis, but it's not necessarily like a cultural fucking staple. It's not necessarily a culturally iconic thing, as opposed to how it was in the 90s and early 2000s and stuff like that. Like when dro was a thing, when people were paying $20 a gram to get some good shit. Again,
it's funny though how the mainstream media goes on to they'll tell you that everything's cool, that you can it's okay to sell weed and shit, but consuming it causes you to be fucking a kaleidoscope fucking vision. And you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
the web is just ridiculous, man. I mean, it's like circular fucking logic. It's, it's just
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. They love the tax revenue, all that kind of shit, but
it's the same thing as the Democrats when they try to ban guns or components of guns and stuff like that. It's really the only reason that they want to ban it is because they don't fucking understand the goddamn thing about it. That's the same thing with Republicans and weed. That's the only reason they want to fucking ban it is because they don't understand it. And the only thing that they do know is like we said, the fucking the reefer madness era. They know that it's something used by the fucking the migrant community. Those are the first people that brought it to America, and then it was used by the jazzy fucking people and shit. Basically, it was used by counterculture, right? And so that's what they know about it. They don't actually know what the effects, anything like that. And like I say, it's the same thing with the Democrats and their whole trying to ban guns. All that they know about it is we win wars, we topple fucking nations with guns. And then we also see fucking violence happening within our cities because of guns and shit. That's quite literally the only thing they know about guns. As you see, when it comes to they try to ban fucking the pistol braces because the pistol brace, that's going to make it so you could fit more a larger caliber. That's going to change the bullet size. That's going to change the trajectory, and that's going to make it to where you could fit 30 rounds in a chamber. Like, they have no fucking
it's
clue.
Gonna go 100 times faster.
Right. They don't have the slightest clue what they're talking about. And it's blatantly obvious too. I don't think that they're even like just misinformed, or they're completely misinformed. But I don't think they're trying to use like double speak or I don't think they're trying to manipulate you into thinking this. I think they're actually just fucking so ignorant on this stuff that they
But the
don't
way
know.
it's spilled, like I said, MSM's telling you they're like everything's fine. Violent crime is actually on the decline. Don't believe your eyes and ears. At the same time, marijuana use causes fucking psychotic outbreaks and shit, and it's being used at a record level. You know what I'm saying? And then, not to mention, the fucking dispensaries raised $100 million of taxes in 1 year just in Colorado alone, and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, then. I was gonna say, the funny thing about them saying like, oh, the crime's going down and shit like that, violent crime's going down and shit. Like, the funny thing is, during that same time period that violent crime is going down, gun sales have gone up dramatically within that time period. So I don't remember the exact equation, but I believe the Democratic logic was more guns equals more deaths, right? I mean, that was the way that they put it, right? I believe that was the mathematical equation they used.
Fucking meltdown on Massey, right?
Right.
In congressional chambers.
Yep.
More guns means more deaths.
Right.
Right.
Well, clearly the numbers are proving the case is actually the literal opposite. More guns equals a fucking much more polite society. Who would have fucking thought? Maybe the founding fathers, maybe I don't know, just about anybody that's got any sort of fucking semblance of common sense and some sort of a belief in your natural right to defend yourself.
Even the Wild West. I mean, that's what we call it that, and we have this romanticized portrayal of fucking Wyatt Earp and them and Billy the Kid. But in reality, you talk to historians and they'll tell you it was a much more tame atmosphere than that,
right?
Because of the fear of a motherfucker will shoot you in the face, dude. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Really, don't get cray. Don't get cray up in here.
Right. And if you fuck around, you will find out. I mean, that's a table that was embedded into our fucking forefathers, psyche since birth. Not so much anymore. As Mike Tyson puts it, we've come to the point where the internet has made it to where people feel comfortable with talking shit to somebody because they know that they're not going to get punched in the face.
The reason that they just removed the Thomas Jefferson fucking statue in New York, and according to the Bee, they're going to replace it with a golden statue of fucking Lizzo. So that's that's where we're at. That's where we've gone, man.
Right.
And Trump was right again. What did Trump say? They're going to come for the statues of the founders next, man.
Yep.
Here we fucking are, dude.
Yep. It's clearly because they legalized weed.
Yep.
None of this would have happened. None of this would have happened if weed was still illegal. That is the fucking key point to all of this, man. That was the cornerstone of our society, was the prohibition of marijuana, man. Like,
and we got to go back to that as well, right? I mean, Revolution Manifesto, fucking Ron Paul, who not only will break it down to you in the most minuscule, easily consumable fucking aspect, but turn you on to the full article that you can read yourself, the constitutional article, when they outlawed it. And there was only one of a group of scientists that was willing to testify in front of Congress. And they cut out the part where he said he turned into a bat, man. And it's got to be outlawed. I turned into a bat and flew around the lab. It was fucking insane, right? Yeah, they had to cut that part out. So that's where the whole illegal thing came from. And sounds cockamamie and cartoonish, but that's Americans' histories.
Yeah, and like I say again, just to juxtapose it to the Democrats and their gun grabs and shit. Oh, the AR-15, the bullet from an AR-15 is designed to blow the lungs clean out. Or no, that was a 9mm, right? A 9mm blow the lungs clean out you. Like, no, it won't. It won't do anything even close to that, actually.
Right. Right. I saw a hole my brother took with a 45, and it was. Surely, I mean, it was a hole, but it didn't blow anything out.
Yeah. Shit. I hope I ain't ever get shot. Right. I don't want to get shot by my fucking kids when I buy them a BB gun. I don't want to get shot by nothing. Let me find this video real quick. In order to actually describe accurately what bullets actually do. Let me go ahead and pop this video up right now. It's a short video.
You're promoting firearms were banned from the juice tubes.
Huh?
So you're promoting firearms were banned from the juice tubes.
Right. No, it's a scientific breakdown. It's an actual, it's science here. This is from an actual, well-respected person within the industry and stuff. And, he breaks it down for you real well. The difference between, like 9mm bullets, AR-15 bullets, and, shotgun shells and stuff. But yeah, check this one out, you guys.
Pistols put holes in people. Rifles put holes through people. Shotguns at the right range with the right load will physically remove a chunk of shit off your opponent and throw that shit on the floor.
There you go. That's how guns work. That's how guns work. All right. Like pistols will put holes in you. Rifles will put holes through you. But a well-placed shotgun shell, a shotgun blast at the right distance will take a chunk of shit off of your opponent and throw that shit on the floor. Best breakdown of the difference in rounds, right? So yeah, 9mm is not gonna blow the lungs clean out of you. All right, let's see. You wanna check out the old freaking lefto journalist Taylor Lorenz real quick?
Sure.
Let me go ahead and share this tab. All right, so
good stuff. You're in for treats.
All right. I have a declaration, and it's actually something that we've been saying on this show for pretty much the inception of this show. That's actually kind of the reason that we even started this show. It's because we want to fucking rule the world. We want to start a secret society. We want to start a cult, a militia. We basically want to we want to influence your minds and force you to think the way that we want you to think, right? So I finally put a name to it, man, and it's The Future is Unfiltered. Mainstream media is dead. Right? So basically that's what I say. The future is with podcasting and basically people speaking unfiltered, just speaking, the shit that pops on their mind as soon as they say it. You don't have time to make up a lie. You don't have time to talk in newspeak and make up whole weird ass shit. And basically some of the journos, the people that have worked in the mainstream for some time now are finally coming to terms with the fact that, their cushy career in pushing propaganda. Right. Their career pushing propaganda is coming to an end. So this one's old Taylor Lorenz. Check out what she's got to say. about the future of journalism's.
The entire journalism industry is basically in a free fall. Today, the Los Angeles Times laid off 115 employees. They wiped out their entire DC bureau in an election year. They laid off pretty much all of their sports teams. They killed their entire tech and business section. They laid off breaking news writers, social media editors. The list goes on. But what's really dark is this is just the latest in months and months and months of layoffs in the media industry. In fact, tens of thousands of journalists have been laid off in the past year. Major media companies like BuzzFeed News have completely shuttered their news operations. Time Magazine also just laid off a ton of people, and Sports Illustrated basically shut down last week. Pretty much the entire digital media ecosystem that myself and a lot of other millennial journalists came up in has been completely hollowed out. And it's not just digital media sites. Local news has been obliterated. The newspaper industry is cratering. Radio is essentially dead aside from NPR, which has been gutted. Meanwhile, hundreds of workers at Condé Nast, the parent company of pretty much every major magazine from GQ to Vogue to The New Yorker to Vanity Fair, are on strike because they're also facing impending layoffs. Even mainstream national media outlets owned by billionaires like the Washington Post, where I work, and the Atlantic, where I used to work, have done layoffs. If you're a young journalist today, there's almost no on-ramp to traditional journalism. Even if you do get a job, journalists' salaries have been stagnant and even declined. And by the way, we don't make that much to begin with. I don't think people understand how bad the world would be without journalists.
Why'd you have to put fucking background music to it? Like you're literally over here bitching about how you're about to lose your fucking job.
Trying to make it exciting, engaging contents.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous, dude. Radio's dead except for NPR. NPR's fucking shit stack propaganda. And fucking, she says that because there's plenty of radio shows out there that are good, but they're fucking majority right wing, fucking, base. Dan Bongino, Mark Levin, shit like that. Like, it's there every day, all day. And as far as, layoffs and shit like that, like mainstream journalists such as myself, like you're not mainstream. You're propped up by fucking billionaires. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're not what people want to hear. And we're sick of the bullshit. Yeah, like she named Time Magazine. Time Magazine is the publisher of the article of the shadowy fucking government that fucking stole the 2020 elections or saved it. Right, right, ding, 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 and not to mention that's Hitler was Time Magazine fucking dude of the year, so you know what I mean. Like, Caitlyn Jenner was fucking man of the year. Fuck Time Magazine. All these places they've ran their course, and it's go woke, go broke, man. Fucking piss on that chick's head, son.
Yep. So, I mean, two points as to why this is happening again. One, because we're winning basically, the actual truth basically, like she was saying, radio's dead and shit. Basically podcasts and stuff like this is it's modeled off of, talk radio. It's talk radio is basically the original podcast. And so, the radio is not dead. It's just having a revitalization. It's having a resurgence period. And basically it's because again, the future is going to be unfiltered. People want to hear the actual truth. People want to hear, real people having real conversations that aren't scripted. And, reality TV fucking is the least real shit on TV, and people, people don't want the same reality TV anymore. They want actual reality, And so I think, that's one thing. I guess three different things, right? So the other thing too is during the whole COVID thing, the whole, the Russiagate, all, pretty much, the last, decade or so, the mainstream media has more or less kind of killed its credibility. It's especially with things like COVID, the Wuhan lab leak, the Rachel Maddow with, you won't get the virus. You can't transmit it. As long as you take the shots, all, people are
Russians, collusions, PP's tapes, fucking
right. They've
January 6th.
Right. Freaking the Hunter Biden laptop,
Yeah, the censorship, the colluding with fucking government to fucking remove your opinions and ideas and fucking,
Right. Yep. So pretty much with that, they've destroyed a lot of their credibility, and so naturally they're going to start losing viewers. Of course, when they start losing viewers and stuff like that, people aren't watching it. Like we saw with the whole CNN app thing. What did they get? Like 10,000 subscribers, 10,000 people to sign up for it. Like that's that's horrible. That's horrible. You know.
And I'm sure fucking Stetler had 4 or 5 of those himself.
Right. Right. So I mean, yeah, absolutely over. Nobody wants to watch them anymore. The only people that watch them are, at least from what I could tell, is old boomers that just happen to have the news playing in the background of the house just at all times. And they usually have like CNN or MSNBC or something like that. And yeah, that's the only viewers that they get. So I think that of course once they're not getting viewers, once people aren't making money off of their propaganda network and stuff anymore, naturally they're going to start cutting wherever they can. That's why people things like BuzzFeed and shit like that ended up going under, because like of course they had to cut costs somewhere. And so basically in this bad economy that we're having right now, in this free fall economy that we're in, they're cutting off all the useless shit. And so that's why obviously what's the useless shit is basically people that they're putting on the fucking air to have nobody actually watch them. So it's a, I don't know, like I said, we're coming toward a new era in how people get their news and how people get their opinions on how society at large is doing. It's not going to be just dull people reading from a script or from a teleprompter with the state approved messages and stuff like that. It's basically going to people. I mean, I still believe that type of stuff is still going to be around. I still think just the basic here's the nightly news type stuff is still going to be a thing. But I think where people are actually going to get their news is going to be from the regurgitations of podcasts and stuff like this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on everything except for I don't see radio being dead, man. 15 million people a day listen to radio. Dan Bongino is getting some serious ratings. I mean, everything the dude's touching right now is turning to gold. Yep. And even though I don't like the guy, Mark Levin, same thing. Millions of people listen to him every day. Dude's on for hours. You know what I mean? Obviously, Bongino absorbing the old Rush Limbaugh spot, which again, he was a master of his craft, someone that probably garnered more listeners as far as political chat than anyone in radio history, I'm sure. So other than that, completely agree, with everything you said. There's also, the whole aspect of just the everyone realizes it's an arm of the government at this point, man. That's all the MSM is. It's Operation Mockingbird. It's, you know what I mean? It's the Smith Modernization Act. It's the NDAA fucking, defense authorization fucking, we're going to put one in your bomb, man, that works with, the alphabet soups.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating the death, man. And, it's good to hear your actual countryman's opinion rather than some robot that you can watch a clip that just repeated every line across local news. You know what I mean? At the same time, the same
right.
way. It's bad for our democracy. It's bad for our democracy. It's
right.
bad for our democracy.
yeah, dude. That like those videos, I think, really kind of were ones that are great to fucking spread around and shit. I really want to get a lot of those videos and just kind of hold on to them, just so that way I could just show people, oh, if this happens, so and so, this will be bad for our democracy. And like it's just newscast after newscast, just literally saying verbatim the exact same shit, dude. Like, God damn, like that's fucking insane. Yeah.
Yeah, and research, this shit that we drop, man. Operation Mockingbird, I'm sure plenty of you know about already. And like I said, the Smith Modernization Act with, the Obama 2012. Like, Google this stuff. I mean, you can find it there, but of course, use an alternate fucking search engine, and you're going to get a lot more in-depth information rather than deflection. And it's not really bad,
Right. Right. Or the first, usually whenever you type something into Google and stuff, like the first article or something, the first, hit that's going to pop up is something saying like, oh, it's actually a conspiracy theory. Like, you're probably looking this up because you're looking up the conspiracy theory of this, right? Like,
right.
No,
right.
I'm looking up the data from the conspiracy theorists.
Right. Yeah. And the only reason I say Google is because it's leftist censorious shit. And if you can find it there, You know what I mean? You just use an alternate one, and you can get some real information if you want to go down the rabbit hole. But that just lets you know that it's real. Because if it had any slightest chance of being bullshit, you wouldn't even be able to find it on Google. They put it fucking 400 fucking pages down in the search results.
All right. Yep. Oh shit, that's about all we got, man. It's a damn good show. You got anything?
Good.
Got anything you want to throw in before we get up out of here?
I mean, the usual, man. If you're watching the destruction of the American justice system, fucking, we're getting calls. I don't want to call it anything other than that for juice tubes reasons, but I'm sure we're already on a list. So as far as that's concerned, it doesn't matter. You just don't want the channel removed. But we're getting calls from our countrymen, man, to come help and protect this joint. You know what I mean? And if voting still matters at all, this is the wand. This is the fucking wand.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got fucking what 9 months now? 9 months or something? 10 months before we gotta put this shit in fucking motion. And in the meantime, let's look out for each other.
Right. Should definitely look out for each other, man. Like we've been saying, this year is going to be one for the history books. It's so funny every time I hear somebody like, 2024 is going to be so much better. It can't be as bad as 2023. Like,
Right.
you poor
Tie
little
your
thing,
boots
man.
tight, man.
You're right. Yep. Shit,
One of those times I'm really thankful for where I live. Obviously, we're not far from the border here where we live, but at the same time, I'm far enough away from it to, I'm good. A1.
Right. Yep. Yeah, fucking, I don't know. Yeah, I still live within the city a bit, but I still got a good enough arsenal. Yeah, I think I'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. But anyway, man, if you guys are not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We do appreciate all you guys stopping by. If you guys want to ask anything in the chat, we're here every Friday night, 10 p.m. Arizona time. Those that may be watching this show afterward, make sure you guys stop by. Catch us live, get in the chat. It's always a good time here. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. All the links are in the description below. We appreciate y'all. Fuck it off.